definitely a top 10 player in the entire world, which is outrageous to say about a guy like Fly. So it's great to see him keeping up. I do think he's gotten a little bit less space here in Liquid. I think he's more like part of a team right now, so he's not like in the same position as in Renegades, but he's still keeping up with the numbers, which is such a great growth to see.
Kind of reminds me of Rush with the C9 thing, of someone who just really sprouted and is so solid in so many ways. You saw some of those kills outside. Not only is he hitting flicks, but like you said, very fundamentally sound around the objects, and you kind of get that feeling from him, which is really good sign that it's a 1v2, 1v3. NAF might win this right now, and you kind of can visualize him winning it. So it's cool to see him coming into his own.
Couldn't agree more. We'll actually bring him up in comparison to in the head-to-head, in comparison to Ethan. Ethan is going to be the player selected from NRG, closing in on that 30 over the course of that previous 2 maps, I believe. Or actually, that could have been, that is just going to be combined. His frags from both.
I was about to say 47.
No, well, it says last map played, and I was like, no. Okay, so that will indeed be both for the series, and you can see just an absolute massacre. Look at that, 110 ADR. That's when you're in that sweet spot of dominance over the course of a series. So great stuff from NAF. Kind of a couple of closing thoughts then on Liquid's chances coming up. Of course, we do have another semi-final first, but they are in the grand final now. You know, is this a Liquid that can put on a show for Wembley? I'm not talking about necessarily lift that trophy, but put up some resistance, Jacob.
I think they can, and I think they showed us in Dallas that they're able to do so. Obviously, Star Series was not the best event for Team Liquid. They had a raw fallout against NRG, and they said themselves we maybe underestimated them. It's a mistake you sometimes make when you're a new top team. You can't underestimate anyone, but you live and you learn, right?
Yeah.
Whereas now, I think we saw Liquid in Dallas putting up a great fight against Astralis, and I don't think we've seen Liquid play their best yet, as we talked about before. There's still some tweaks they can do. They can still, make some better decisions inside the game as well, and Jordan is going to alert to that in a second in the replay as well.
And that's what is exciting, and that's why I am confident going into this final, which is assumedly going to be versus Astralis, because some of the things we talked about, some of the things I highlighted on Inferno, they already kind of did better on Nuke. So maybe there's some map-related issues there, but that's exciting as a way to see that they have that ability to switch gears, and again, really aware of the reset rounds, and so Liquid's looking pretty dialed in for this final match, and they just need to keep the focus and not get too ahead of themselves.
Hold on to it for the next semi-final. They're going to have that kind of awkward limbo. And I do think, Jacob's right. We should take a look at that replay because it will help us prove that point. So you wanted to break down more of what you talked about on Inferno.
So it's the same kind of situation on Inferno. So we'll look at this first round here. It's going to be an upper rush on Nuke. And the reason this round is kind of unique is you notice on the same type of round on Inferno where NRG had just won a round, they immediately reset them by doing a fast-paced round. Now, if they lose this round, the beauty is it's probably going to be like a 2v2, which means less than 3 people lived on NRG, and they would be able to, continue managing that economy from NRG's perspective. So they take it fast. It ends up going even better than expected. And then the next round here, what did they do last round on Inferno that we got mad about? They hesitated. Right now, they just continue walking smoothly into the bomb site. They know the other team has pistols. They're holding hands. That's the key. It's like preschool there. You got to stay close to each other when you go into the next part of the park, right? So they did the job right. They come into the connector together, and they win the round. And the reason that's really awesome for me is because going into this final match versus Astralis, they need to make sure those little things are happening. The Astralis will punish you greatly if you're not taking the advantages that the game presents you.
That hesitation, it is terrifying. It's actually so interesting because it's something that won't be talked about in a stomp, but when it comes to those close matches, it'll be rounds, it'll be situations like that. I like the preschool analogy, especially when you're against those scary CZs, holding hands.
Stay close, baby. Hold hands when you cross the street.
Absolutely. Yeah, we used to do that. We had to number off on the school bus on our school trips.
And that's Zeus's job. He's doing the head count, and they just need to keep committing, right?
Yeah, and Zeus as well. I mean, he seems to have a really. I like the way he approaches his team. Listening to him talk about Liquid and just that, he's like not only confident in their dominance, but also, it was made clear by the team that they did go back and they did look at their games and they did come back with a preparation.
And he's got a bunch of young men with potential on the team. You see how good Twist is looking these days. He's got the hair, he's got the jawline.
He's got the gum.
Let's bring him into the confident in the game. And I'm hoping Zeus is focusing on those kind of out-of-game things because we've talked about why isn't there a star player. I think Thorin highlighted it well in the past where he was talking, hey, these guys have some skill, but they need to have the swagger. They need to execute and feel before that they play those matches that they're going to dominate.
Well, they're starting to look swaggy in this next graphic. You can see that they are locked in for the grand finals. Team Liquid are going to be our first team who will secure themselves a spot to lift that ECS Season 5 trophy. Waiting in the wings, it will be Faze or Astralis, the Danes who just look indomitable, or that of Faze, who have, of course, got that crutch of a stand-in. Croman, the Norwegian, standing in for them, and that's going to be coming up. We get to see more and more from them. Just your closing thoughts then. NRG eliminated, Liquid in the grand finals. It's the NRG closing thought that I'm kind of looking for here, Jacob. What have we learned?
I mean, I think they can be proud of the result here at DCS Finals. I think it's a team that is currently in a state where they get better by each event they play. They learn from everything, especially Zerg is a player that's very young.
Yeah.
Maybe the most inexperienced player on the team, but still one of the best players on the team. So if you can give him some experience and give him some positive outlines from this event, that's a great thing. I also will say that you have to look at it from another perspective. You know, if you're going into this tournament or looking at Energy just 3 or 4 months ago, you would never expect them to be in a semi-final at ECS. So yeah, they maybe can be disappointed that they didn't put up a better fight against Team Liquid, but overall, you know, this is a team on the rise, and if Energy can manifest their position as the second best NA team ahead of Cloud9 right now, that'll be a huge scalp for them.
That would be awesome. Right, well, I think we're going to leave it there for now. Of course, our next game, we talk about them a lot. It's Astralis versus Faze, and we do have Freya on the player 4. She's managed to grab the brains behind Astralis' brawn. It's Glaive with Freya.
That's right, Alec. I'm here with Glaive from Astralis. So how are you feeling going into your matchup against Faze?
Yeah, it's going to be a tough matchup like always. They are a really good team, but I think we can beat them like we did last time. Maybe not in the same fashion, but we'll try to do our best once again. They did some things in the veto that we didn't expect, so it's going to be a fun game.
So you guys won both of your games on Friday, meaning you didn't have to play yesterday. Do you feel like this gave you an advantage in preparing for today's matchup?
Not really, to be honest. Sometimes it's just better to just play all days, I think, because when you have a day off, you just want to use it to go out, see the city and such. And that was really nice, of course, but still, sometimes you just want to practice, and that makes you a lot better as well.
Sure. So you guys, both Astralis and Faze, have won ECS in the past, but Faze are currently defending champions. Does this give you even more motivation to try and take them down in the semi-finals?
Yeah, it really does. We really want to beat them this time around. We know who is waiting for us in the final, and we have beaten them last time in the final as well. So yeah, we just want to go into this semi-final, go beat Faze, and then go straight into the grand final and take our trophy home.
Cool. Thank you so much. We're going to head over to a quick break now. Don't go anywhere.
We're here at the ECS Season 5 Finals at the Wembley SSE Arena, and we're doing a 1v1 competition to test the fans' knowledge. Will they be up to scratch? Are they true CSGO supporters? We'll find out with some awesome merch. Alright, so I'm here with...
Josh.
Josh and...
Ollie.
Who won the last ECS tournament in Cancun? Go.
Faze?
Yes. What does FPL stand for? Go.
Basic Pro League.
What's the map that has chickens on it?
Inferno?
Yeah, oh my goodness, we have a winner, ladies and gentlemen. Take your pick. Get it out, get it out. Damn, it's not a bad fit. All right, so I'm here with... Josh and...
Tom. Best man wins. I'm going to win, though. I'm the best man.
What team won the last major?
Cloud9.
Nice, man. No, it's all right, it's all right. What costs 5 million points on the Faceit store?
Fiat 500.
Oh. Okay, you have $10,000 and you buy an AWP, Kevlar and head armor. How much money do you have left?
4,250.
Oh, quick math.
Well, I knew I would win.
Oh my goodness. Okay, we are here with Sarah and
Conrad. I'd like to say thank you to my wife for coming with me. I kind of forced her to come,
Oh,
and now I'm
really?
going to get something, so, you know, it's all good.
I'm ready.
if you buy a full grenade set of a smoke, a grenade, a flashbang and an incendiary, how much would that cost?
So it'll be 600 incendiary, 300 smoke, 300 grenade, and then what was it, flashbang?
Yeah.
200. So 6, 9, 12, 1400.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it. ECS has been, this is like the 5th season now, so there's been 4 winners previously. Name 2 of the winners.
Well,
The only team I know is Astralis.
Yeah, so that's...
And
Faze Clan.
Okay, so that's...
And Fnatic.
No.
Fnatic have won
No.
it.
So you know
Right.
one of the teams that you didn't know
just said it.
before.
Faze Plan.
Yeah, yeah, exactly like that.
God. And Astralis.
Oh
Do
my
I win?
goodness,
There
yeah.
you go. Point.
We're back in again. Have you seen the beach ball?
No.
What team was on the beach? Damn it! Any words of like how you feeling right now?
can't wait to see the action take place today.
feel it inside, strike a nerve and it all went numb. One lie, you get me so high, my desire blocks out the sun.
Yeah. Ride with the mob, hamdulillah. Check in with me and do your job. Berg is the name, Ben Baller did the chain. Torno for the watch, Prezi plain Jane. Ride with the mob, hamdulillah. Check in with me and do your job. Ride with the mob, hamdulillah. Check in with me and do your job. Berg is the name, Ben Baller did the chain. Torno for the watch, Prezi plain Jane. Ride with the mob, hamdulillah. Check in with me and do your job.
Got too many girls to let one of them go. When I make a purchase, I can't wait to show. Whoa, whoa. She bet I put a pinky ring on Snow Globe. I'ma have that pussy on like yeah. She was going up and down like yo-yo. You can say I'm greedy cause I always want more. I don't fuck with homes cause they want some slow folks. Ooh, money on my soul. Baby girl, for more. Getting nigga with some money, some sliding in the lamb with the power like go.
Talk gray, I don't keep it white and black. Only say I love you just so I can hear it back sometimes. Other times I love to have you back. Can't think of a night that we ain't turn up to the max, no. Like that album just went platinum, yeah. Turns up to the max, if they pop somebody's chain, then we gotta get it back. No discussion to be had, we ain't going out like that, man, we live. Turn up to the max, to the max. Got it on the dresser, I've been under pressure. They wanna see me laid out on the stretcher. Gotta keep my head up. Now all of a sudden, people say we cousins. I keep hearing all this through my brother talk, I can't relate to nothing. My broski down the ride, made a knot in the line. You can never break ties. We don't really rate those you there, that's a whole other style. That's a whole nother vibe. Yeah, I'm really on shit. Yeah. Now we live.
That's what I call a trouble counter. Take the blood, hold them up for ransom. That's what I call a trap anthem. This is the real trap anthem. Fuck a bad bitch in the phantom. Fuck a rich bitch in the bathroom. Hey, this is the real trap anthem. Nico, ASAP.
Denying vision outside with an E-box and sandwich smoke is a cost-effective way to seduce the defense into making bad decisions. For just $600, you can turn a small choke point into an intimidating one and still have 3 smokes left over for a nice layered execute. For years, teams have been throwing these 2 standard smokes as a means of baiting grenades, selling fakes, and even creating misdirection. Finding new ways to innovate with these 2 already important smokes is critical to keep the defense guessing as Train's meta evolves over time. This round from Faze and ECS this season showed us an example of that innovation with a deceptively simple lurk play from Rain and Nico. Naturally, this round starts off with a sandwich and E-box smoke. The idea here is that the standard outside smokes will appear to be a distraction as the core of Faze move towards Ivy. Since the 2 smokes outside are called first, it seems to Virtus.pro that this round was about taking attention away from Ivy, when in reality, Faze are about to abuse team main and the vision that these smokes block off. Now, this area that Rain's about to take for the offense is highly sought out because it compromises a lot of these positions outside, and because Snax in this match had been so persistent about denying control of it, Faze have had to become more creative on the approach. So Nico flashes Rain out as soon as there's commotion at Ivy, completely concealed from any of the eyes of Virtus.pro. This would normally be the point of the round where Snax would peek back 6 with an op, but is too distracted by all that Ivy presence. The denial of vision from their sandwich smoke now comes into play as Rain takes his final few steps towards Hell. As soon as the op shot from Snax is heard here at Ivy, we can see Rain processing how he can most safely play this and wait for Snax to make his rotation around to Old Bomb before calling for a flash from his support player in team main. Now, although Bialy manages to trade this, what's going to be surprising for Virtus.pro is how Rain managed this lurk. Imagine being Virtus.pro and seeing these 2 smokes after this round. They can mean anything from a 2-tiered execute to a fake to inside, and now even a quick Hell lurk is on the table. It takes a fluid sandwich player to know what they can and can't get away with when these smokes come cascading over the site. And on rounds teams don't want to play close up, they'll risk being opened up to plays like the one that Range has made. The E-box and sandwich smoke provide a number of offensive options that are all staple in the meta, and it's clear looking at the simplicity of this lurk that there's more innovation that can be had. It's a cheap investment that seems to have evergreen value on this iteration of Train, and I'm sure it's only a matter of time before we see their value be pushed even further.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. A time for all of us to rejoice. It's giveaway time, ladies and gentlemen. Let me stand up. You might remember yesterday we gave away a wonderful ECS branded Vertigear chair, and we said we'd be doing more of that over the weekend, and indeed right now is the time for number 2. But we also have some fantastic swag from Steel Series, one of our, again, wonderful sponsors. So a big shout out to both of them. It's going to work exactly how it did yesterday. We have our jib camera, the crane camera, looking and seeking out a worthy recipient of the swag I have on stage from Steel Series and Vertigear. And all you need to do is believe and wish and hope, and also probably make a lot of noise. And so are you guys ready? All right, if our jib camera is ready, also on the count of 3, and count with me please, make as much damn noise as you possibly can, all right? 1, 2, 3, go! Who are we looking for, crane camera? Make some more noise. Get absolutely wild and livid. We can see some jerseys at the front. We've got a topless man, ladies and gentlemen. That is wild, tatted up. Astralis jerseys as well, relevant considering the next match. I see some Faze fans, ninjas in pajamas, and oh! It's a young gentleman at the front, raise the roof! Congratulations, sir. So, this chair, you will not have to take it home. A handler will come over and speak to you and get your details, and they'll ship it over to you. With regards to the Steel Series stuff, you might be able to take that now. If not, it will be shipped to you as well. So just wait there, and someone will come and speak to you. Awesome, everybody. We're about to get going with Faze versus Astralis. This is a mega match you do not want to miss. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
ECS Season 5 finals continue with our second semi-final. We already know who's waiting in that grand final. Team Liquid managed to pick that one up, and they are just now anxiously waiting to see who their opponent will be. We heard in the interview they're expecting Astralis. We'll see what our analysts have to say about that. An introduction, we've changed things up. We have Jason Moses O'Toole and Tommy Lerpis Kovanen. Not bad? Did I
Not bad.
Yeah,
Not bad.
These damn
Getting
Finnish.
somewhere. It's not a real language anyways.
Yeah, O'Toole.
It's
I
barely
say
even
that.
a real country.
Oh, yeah.
I hear
don't get the
stories.
conspiracy. Don't get the conspiracy.
That is my favorite conspiracy. I'm subscribed.
Yeah, for people that don't know, there is a conspiracy that Finland doesn't exist. Tommy, where are you actually from? The internet.
He's from
That's
just
where
a
you're from.
place in the ocean that looks like a landmass on the maps. There's a whole subreddit.
You've
to it.
done your
It's brilliant.
research.
Yeah,
You'll have to
I've
explain
done
it to me. Anyway, Counter-Strike. So Astralis versus Faze is what's coming up, and I am so damn hyped. We're going to take a look at this next matchup, and then we're going to break in to the analysis. We're not ready to show you that one just yet, so instead, what I will do, Jason...
that's why you get paid the big bucks right there.
Smooth as butter. So instead, Jason, what I will do is just ask you to set the scene, perhaps even better than that video can do. Faze versus Astralis.
No pressure, though.
It is.
Yeah,
Is it a David and Goliath story? David won?
No, it's not really, because this is the team that's supposed to be vying. This is the team during Astralis' run where they've been the best team for the past few months, where FaZe is the one that's supposed to be challenging that repeatedly. And the problem is they've never had their kind of set roster off. So Olaf Meister's been out for an extended period of time. Exist came in and it was a little bit scrappy at the beginning, and actually he built up, and they actually upset Astralis in Sydney, obviously. Yeah. And now they have a new player coming in for him as he's gone to Fnatic. So once again, FaZe is just kind of pushed a step back, but they're still expected to be that team who can match them, maybe not tactically, but just in sheer firepower and sheer skill. They're like one of the squads that is deep enough to be able to do it.
And that's something that it's so hard to actually analyze and break down, Tommy, the fact that on paper Astralis win this. On paper Astralis win this, but there is that Faze factor, which I'd love to try and understand just a little more. They did do it in Sydney in a best of 5 when their map pool and everyone predicted against them, and nothing suggested they should, but they did, and it wasn't like Astralis slacked. It was Faze finding that level that Jason's alluding to.
Yeah, and the thing about the Sydney win too is like the way they won was so unfazed. Like the way they've normally won throughout this team's history is they just run teams. You know, they get big leads and they just close teams out. They never really get into the games in the first place. And that was the one time where they actually not only came back from big deficits. I think it was 10-0 on the third map in that series, but won all overtime or very close games. So it's just very different. I mean, the thing about FaZe obviously is they have so much skill that even if you're a best prepared team, and if you're Astralis, you have the best players for all those roles, you're super well prepared tactically, they still have so much skill that sometimes all of that just goes out the window.
I mean, it's important to note as well in that grand final, Device had one of his weaker series we've seen out of him in a long time. Yeah. And then you had, I don't know if it was the entire series, but I know it was definitely the deciding map. Exist had a phenomenal individual performance. He was like at the top of the scoreboard. He was having huge impact, and that's not something that you can necessarily replicate. Like, we don't see Device have poor series very frequently. That's why he's one of the best players, one of the best hoppers in the world. And then conversely, now you don't have Exist, who is playing at a good level at that point in Faze. You have Croman coming in, who's a stand-in, obviously his first event with the team. So you have some of those kind of things that have been taken away that were recipes for their victory.
Yeah, we are going to see the faces of the players now as they do take to the stage. It's time to get the semi-final, or at least the players on the stage.
Rounding out the semi-finals, we have a matchup of epic proportions. The two juggernauts, Astralis and Faze, are set to wage war. Astralis came into the ECS finals on a mission. Already the favorites to win the title, they immediately showed that they were worthy of that distinction by barreling over Cloud9 and Team Liquid with 16-13 and 16-6 wins respectively, securing their spot in the semifinals. With commanding performances from Magisk, Device, and Dupree, it is safe to say that we are witnessing what is sure to become the big three of esports. Their semifinals adversary and defending ECS champs, Faze, had a little bumpier ride to the semis. Despite coming out strong against their first opponents and clear finals underdog Luminosity with a 16-1 massacre, they quickly got blindsided by NRG with a 16-8 loss. Thus causing fans to wonder if the missing Olemeister could create an earlier than expected finals departure. Fortunately, in Day 2, FaZe put all the puzzle pieces together and swept G2 in their first 2 elimination matches. Now, as FaZe looks like they're poised to defend the title, Astralis looks like they're ready to jack one. The world is now truly looking forward to finding out who is the real king of the EU.
For our second semi-final, the Danes of Astralis take on the mighty FaZe. But only one team will take a step closer to claiming their second title. Please welcome to the stage Astralis and FaZe.
Scene set, players on stage. It does mean that FaZe Astralis is going to be going down, but not before I get to hear from my analyst, the brains here of this brigade. Gents, we kind of started the conversation, about FaZe and their chances. I do want to start though with the Danes now. Astralis, this is a roster that I don't really get tired of talking about. There's so much fun to be had with it. Freya spoke to Glaive earlier, and he said there were some surprises in the veto from FaZe, and I mean that excites me already. That FaZe Clan have already tried to throw a bit of a spanner in the works of a team that no one really thought you can find a weakness as such.
That's what you have to do, right? If you're the underdog, you want to increase variance in how things go. So that's why a lot of the time the way teams actually get upset in series is that the other team picks a map that no one really expects. Like even if it's a weaker map for them, just not basically knowing the other team is not going to prepare for that at all can give you that little edge.
Right. Like destabilizes that kind of mindset you have coming into a match.
The only problem with that, within this matchup in particular, going up against Astralis, is they have probably the strongest map pool we've ever had in CS:GO.
Is it all 7?
It's all 7. Yeah, it's all 7. And it gives them such a luxury that very few other teams have had, because they're not only can they play all 7, but they're very good on all 7. So they're not afraid to play any of those maps. So they will go to an opponent's weakness. They don't always have to play to their strength. They have a lot of flexibility in the map veto process. So even when there's like a spanner in the works, right? Even when there's a little bit of a confusing veto that they don't expect, they still have the ability to have a very, very good map. And even if they're not 100% prepared for an opponent on that map, they are 100% prepared for the map itself.
Yeah, it is going to be so interesting to see, how someone, they've done the impossible to an extent. I mean, we always sat in Des and said a true 7-map pool feels unobtainable and no one's done it. It seems like Astralis may be the first.
Yeah, I mean, they also got a little lucky with the way Cobblestone was removed. Obviously, that was a map they never played. Then Dust2 just happened to came back, and that was a map they perfected a long time ago with the same core. So to some extent, you don't really know if they're going to be great on Dust2. It's likely because they always were with the same core. But for the time being, the good Dust2 teams are the teams who used to be good on the previous version of Dust2, because no one's really figured out anything new on that map yet.
And I can't wait for that veto. Maybe Dust2 does show its
I would love that, Alex.
That would be so
spicy.
I really want to see FaZe on Dust2, because Nico's history on Dust2 is something remarkable. He's had some of the best games anyone's ever had on that map.
Yeah, but then you've got Device, who was just this dangerous CT AWPer on Dust2, and we get to see that again. But that's, of course, just an if and a but and a maybe at the moment. We have to talk about FaZe Clan first of all. Now, this roster, when you take a look at the highlights, it is terrifying. However, Croman standing in does just give a huge asterisk to any results that they may concede or, of course, pick up coming into this one. I think, Jason, you said it best when you said toward the end of Exist tenure, you didn't feel like a stand-in anymore.
Right.
Now we're back to square one.
Yeah. Now you obviously have to go back, which is unfortunate for FaZe. But I mean, it's something that they can handle with all the skill on the team. And Croman's no slouch, right? Like we saw Croman at what event was it recently?
EPL is where he did really well.
Very, very good on an individual level. So it's not like he's completely outmatched. It's just we've seen so many times players come into teams and it takes them a few events, maybe a month or two, to kind of figure out their place and how their play style is going to fit into this team. And that's the confusion that FaZe has to kind of build in this event very, very quickly. And you're not going to perfect it. So it's kind of of just go rolling with the punches and see what you've got. But they've certainly have the individual ability to get past that obstacle.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? You've got Norway, Bosnia, Slovakia, Denmark, and now Norway. Just a complete mashup of talent from around the world, and this truly does make it. I mean, it's so good that these are one of the teams in a global offensive. You know, CSGO definitely is being demonstrated well and truly by its namesake here with FaZe Clan. Fantastic stuff from them. But I still want to talk about the fact that Astralis are going to be hot favorites, and why. And, you know, if anyone's new, it's great. I've met a lot of people just we did a signing session, first event, first CS event, first, you know, experience with CS as well. You know, if we were hyping up the Astralis roster, why they are so good, I mean, we can go through the list. You have Device, a player that I love to talk about just because his style of AWPing has only got better and better. This guy was a rifler, right, Tommy? He's grown into this role now as a star AWPer.
He started as more of a hybrid, I guess. You know, he always still wanted to AWP at times.
The secondary.
Yeah, but he was selective, right? So, you know, like that wasn't his default. He would only play the roles that he really liked with the AWP, and then be sort of rifling everywhere else. So in the last couple of years, he's really taken over the full-time AWPing role. He's really good at it. He's the one who I think first came out and said he'd actually started studying his own heat maps to see where he's playing, because basically that's what. By back solving for that, that's what the other teams see. So when you see, oh, I'm here all the time, that's what the other teams know, so then you start playing somewhere else. So he basically figured out how to game the system in some ways, which, I mean, it sounds kind of simple, but if you're the first who does that, you're still ahead of the game.
Exactly. I think other players and teams are going to catch up on that level of preparation, that level of practice for especially for an individual, especially if you go up against him, and that'll get incorporated into other squads as well. But it's not just Device. He's obviously he's not even a flashy opera, but we still consider him one of the best. It's a unique style that we see him dominate with. But then you just go down the list, and you have someone like Dupree, who's been phenomenal for this team. At times he's had to juggle some roles.
He's one of the most underrated players of the last 4 years.
Yeah,
like he's easily been like top 15 player basically every single year, but no one talks about him.
Yeah, because there's so much other like bigger names in their kind of roles. I guess you have Glaive, who's probably the best in-game leader we have in the entire scene. We have Zipnix, who's obviously a phenomenal anchor player into a bomb site, phenomenal clutch player, the best clutch player we've had in the history of CSGO. So you have all these pieces, and by the way, they're very young. Like this is just the beginning, which is frightening.
That is terrifying.
Also,
really
Magus, by the way.
Yeah, we haven't gotten him yet.
We didn't even get to him, and he's one of the best fraggers on this team now. He's such a good rifler.
Yeah, and I mean, even at this event alone, we've seen examples of what he's capable of. Like, I mean, immediately I'm just thinking of the aggression down Banana, but calculated aggression through the smoke. He gets a 3K. The nade takes another guy down to 50. It's just so well thought out. Every move that he seems to and they seem to make.
This is a team, and I think the reason for me why this team is so exciting is when you watch them play. If you pay close enough attention, you can actually see them setting up for things like 3 rounds in advance. Something that they do in like round 4 will come back to haunt their opponents in round 7.
Can we slow this veto down as well so we can hear our analysts' thoughts as we do go through a big best of 3, and we do see immediately FaZe does ban Nuke and Cash removed by Astralis. A Nuke ban coming out from FaZe.
Yeah, you have to expect that. Astralis is so incredibly good on it, and obviously Cash being taken away for FaZe, that's a map they've been good on, and obviously it's one of the skilled maps, and I think, for Astralis you'd be more willing to risk Dust 2, but Train's actually going to kick us off, which is going to be interesting. Astralis, no slouches on this either.
I like tactically that, FaZe basically took the most tactical map out of the pool, Nuke, which requires tons of preparation. They haven't had that with Chrome, and then Astralis went the other way. They took out Cash, which is the map that's easiest to pug.
And I like that we get more from Astralis' Inferno. It's a joy to watch. You get to see truly this maneuvering around the map, and oh dear, I think that's Dust 2.
Yeah, you can tell the crowd wanted it.
Sorry,
we wanted
Wembley.
It as well.
We all wanted it.
Yeah. We all wanted it.
Blame the players. It's them.
No.
This is. I think this is really cool to shape up, and obviously Overpass as a decider can be a very, very cool map. Another tactical map into the pool though, which has got to be scary for FaZe, even though they are good on that as well.
Yeah, I mean, we get to see the choice given there to Astralis. They have the choice between Mirage and Overpass, and of course, try and make FaZe as uncomfortable as possible. I mean, isn't Overpass one of the ones FaZe have kind of fallen out of favor with?
Yeah, I'm very surprised and also very bummed out that they vetoed Dust 2 in favor of Overpass. That would have been such an exciting decider map for this series, because it really does seem like it would fit FaZe's personnel really well. I mean, it might just be the case that they just chosen not to practice it so far with when Olof was back for those couple days, or with Exist. So, It's just a shame. I really wanted to see them on Dust 2.
Yeah, would have been cool. I think Train, though, as an opener, like if we just focus on that one, because I think the strength of Astralis, they're always going to have CT sides. This core lineup going back like years into the beginning of CSGO has always been very dominant on the defensive sides. That used to be their strength before they brought different in-game leaders into the fold to kind of improve their T sides. And you look at a map like Train, and the reason why they can have such a strong defense, it's going to start and end as it always does on Train with who you have playing that inner bomb site. And Xyp9x is so incredible at this role. He very rarely makes mistakes, very rarely gets caught out and punished, and if that happens, if you can't hold the inner bomb site, the whole map collapses. So it's a luxury that Astralis has that not a whole lot of teams have, to have an anchor player that can be so dominant in that role.
I mean, this is going to be so interesting because not only that, we got to see that fantastic breakdown from Launders just before we came on, and that there is a lot of pieces to the Faze puzzle, to Smokes, and we saw just how much they can play around them. And now Croman, I do wonder how much time he's had to be aware of this. If they're talking about particular execute, what does he do? Does he just have to kind of you walk in and frag and then we'll do the rest?
I mean, I think what Carrigan said in his interview with Angel TV the other day, or maybe yesterday, was basically said, like, all of Dust kind of lurk for them. He kind of plays by himself a lot of the time. So in some ways, you just put Croman in those roles. You run tactics with the 4 players who have been there the whole time, and then hope that he gets some kills on the other side of the map and it all works out. But it's not ideal, is it?
It's not ideal. No, absolutely not. And it does sound like we are ready to be jumping into this one. Wembley, give them a warm welcome. Get the players hyped. It's time for our second semi-final. Henry G and Sadakis are going to be the voices filling this arena.
Certainly are, Henry, and looking forward to it. It's been an incredible event so far. Great arena to be in, and of course, London is going to see its fair share of Counter-Strike over the summer.
Yeah, this is a really exciting semi-final. It's worthy of the grand final. It's a bit of a classic matchup. As Alex mentioned, a bit of an asterisk to it. We've got Croman filling in for Faze, but still a powerhouse in their own right, and it's going to be a fantastic game, whatever happens here.
Yeah, these guys have a history. I mean, you go back as far as Katowice last year when it was still the previous iteration of Faze. Astralis actually managing to get away with that one, and then obviously they've been successful throughout, and it's been a rivalry, but you're right, there is a bit of a caveat having Olaf not here and Croman in. Croman hasn't seen a lot of action until he was brought back into this role with Faze.
It was getting to the point of Exist. We're like, well, he's actually had enough time with the team now at this point. We won't even call him a stand-in. He's actually part of the unit. He had like 4 or 5 events with the guys. It was actually starting to look pretty promising. They're winning events with him. But at this point, it's fresh once again. You understand why the veto's gone the way it has. Obviously, they want to play maps like Nuke. Tried to get on towards Cash. Didn't really happen for them. And kicking things off, it feels like on Train, Astralis have a massive upper hand here.
Sure, and just to go back to your point about the stand-in as well and winning events, I mean, that just goes to speak of the depth and the skill that Faze do still possess. Before we get too far into this, I want to talk about a little something that FACEIT's given me the privilege of doing so. Everyone got a FACEIT 7 days of premium subscription card that has a rather long number on it, a code. 2 of those codes are worth a lot more. A rather long number on it, a code. 2 of those codes are worth a lot more. So if you have the code, do one of these each map, at least if we get a BZQ, you've just earned yourself 200,000 additional FACEIT points on top of the 7-day free.
Check your cards in the audience right now. This could be worth a lot.
I'll say it one more time. ABZQ. Those are the last 4, I guess, digits.
Any winners out there? Nothing. Nothing at all.
I don't think they're going to discover it that quickly, Henry. Hopefully they're still around. If not, we'll do another one in the next map. So it's 200,000 extra points. We're going to get into this any second. And I look, Faze, they've impressed me again with the standing, but Astralis is more importantly red hot, and I do think Alex hit that on the nail. Hit the head of the nail, whatever that saying is, on the desk.
We know what you mean. Yeah, I absolutely agree. Astralis, though, they didn't have the most comfortable start to this event. I think it was up against Cloud9. They were 12-3 down before they pulled it back on Inferno. So definitely got their weaknesses. They're not immortal at this point, but definitely the favorites going into this epic matchup. It really is one we're seeing quite regularly now. It's not the grand final, but it is a semi, and sometimes those are even better. We see some of the best Counter-Strike ever played in semi-finals historically. I hope we get some amazing clutches. I hope Guardian's on form in a map like Train. He's so influential in this particular map. Him versus Device is so tantalizingly brilliant that that's going to be enough in its own right just to hype this one up.
Absolutely. No, Device has looked so solid on the AWP. Remember, he was very tactical in his approach.
You guys like Nico?
He studied a lot of other operas to play his positions, but he lost his confidence. Dupree took it over for a period of time. Now he seems back and better than ever.
Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The second semi-final of the day. We're kicking things off quickly. Astralis going towards the pop dog, but they're being mowed down. The USB's finding all the headshots. Nico with 2, and it's a clean sweep. Faze have completely decimated Astralis there to kick things off. The tactic didn't even get to be begun at that stage, it didn't really get rolling whatsoever. They went quickly towards outside, one smoke towards the outside area, a flashbang went over, and Astralis got nowhere near the bomb site there. We'll see Nico just plucking off heads here as he waits by the bomb train. Rain joins in as well, and Faze kick things off in emphatic style. Astralis will be force buying here in the second round, no bomb going down, and we'll see if there's one smoke and flashbang will yield any sort of success for them. I'm not sure it will. It's a very difficult map to try and get the bomb planted. They're up against 4 rifles and the scout, not a single SMG. It's obviously going to have a lack of utility, but Carrigan seems confident this will be absolutely fine as he smokes off towards the alley area.
Exactly, and in doing so, that gives Nico a bit more opportunity to look from all the way at the Ivy position toward A main. He'll hold station, has the rifle to have the range. They haven't gone for any SMGs. That's not unnatural on train, given that you don't want to play the closer angles with SMGs. You can still be overrun quite quickly. You and I talked about that recently, just the fact that train, despite being very open, no ceiling, etc., is very tight in its routes in which you enter the sites. Glaive forced off again, additional smoke deployed at Ivy, and that'll buy further time, so down to 55 seconds and not a lot to work with so far. An armored purchase with the smoke still held by Xyp9x does lend itself to a plant if they can execute quick enough upon that. Seemingly A site as well, not B, not for that fast play. A lot of times you'll see the Pistols just try and rush it toward B to get that bomb down as quickly as possible.
Yeah, normally you can trade out frags in that respect, but it is going to be a very slow play here. 30 seconds remaining. Looks like they're going to commit any second now. Carrigan to be challenged first by his former teammates. Will he be able to find the first frag here? He decides to fall back. He lost quite a lot of HP, and he's going to stay alive at this point, but 15 seconds now, and the bomb's still nowhere near the site. It's up to Rain to defend, but an opening frag from Astralis.
I don't know why that bomb's not working through Sandwich now. They've pushed them back so far, and they've gotten themselves the opportunity. Device does get there in the end, so does it safely and still gets them what they want. The bomb plant down gives them the cash injection. Believe it or not, they've got a chance to go farther than that, considering how long they waited to enter the site. It's a 3-on-3, and the HP favors Astralis. Dupree still lurking toward Ivy as well. If Croman oversteps the mark, headshot potential for the CZ, but it doesn't land, and the round recovered potentially by Faze. Just Xyp9x to find 3. Very good in these situations, but not when he's outgunned in that respect.
Well, there we go. It looked a little bit dicey there for Faze, but 3 players survived. They defused a bomb. Overall, that wasn't too bad at all, but they did allow Astralis to get extra money with that bomb being planted. There's Croman on the screen, a young player that's getting more and more recognition. The mercenary for the CSGO scene at this point, and I'm sure he'll be a big household name going into next year. As we get to round number 3, should be the eco now from Astralis. With the bomb going down, they can certainly afford some P250s here. They'll purchase a couple of those, not much more. 1 flashbang for Device. Probably going to flash over towards that inside area and see whether they can get that bomb down. You can normally get the bomb down on these full ecos, just with the potential of trading 1 kill. And whoever is lower will have their work cut out for them. Glaive going towards Ivy by himself as the CTs establish themselves inside. And remember, watch out for the Device flash. As soon as that goes off, you'll see 4 players make their way towards inside, but they might not make it. Those grenades are going to do a lot of damage. Watch out, Magisk, as they land on top of his head.
I like how everyone was nearby, but he's the only one that took damage from that.
Yeah, it did a lot to him.
Got wrecked. So bomb this time could go for the fast plant. That would be the 2nd in a row. Electing not to bring out the armor for Astralis. That puts them in a prime position on round 3. Should they do so, they'll be fine to buy anyway, obviously, but it could bring out an AWP a lot sooner.
Here comes the flashbang from Device. It goes in. They focus towards Zappa, and luckily Guardian with the scout can't find the insta-kills, but that's what takes down Magisk. He was already low, and it looks like the bomb will not be planted in this particular occasion. 1 player surviving, that's Dupree. He has got the bomb. P250 and 18 points of health. That's going to be all he can do here. And they've got outside covered as well. Carrigan watching for the retreat towards Pop Dog, so almost 0 chance of this bomb being planted. Dupree just hoping a mistake is made. He's got 40 seconds here, but this round will come to its logical conclusion in about 2 seconds. Not quite. Carrigan playing very passively
in that
there.
Position,
There it is.
About 4 seconds, Henry.
Okay, well,
give or
there
take,
it is.
right?
3-0, and that will be 3 players surviving for Faze in the previous round, 4 in this round, so they're actually doing pretty well in that regard. Guardian certainly going to bring out the AWP, and ladies and gentlemen, this is where it gets very exciting indeed. Device versus Guardian on a map like Train, where the AWP is so important. We'll see who comes out on top. For me, it's got to be Device, but we'll see whether Guardian can stand up here as we get into the first gun round. Fantastic start, though, I have to say, for Faze. 3-0, it's their pick with the stand-in. It's going to be a close game, whatever happens at this point. Ray makes his way towards Pop Dog. Device towards that lower ramp. No one there. Croman wisely falls back.
Clever movement from Guardian again as he went over top of the bomb train. Climbed the ladder to red, so a different angle to spot into the main approach to A. You mentioned the fast exchange toward B. Device takes the brunt of the damage down to 50, but again on the AWP that shouldn't be a huge problem. They've got a little bit of control toward the brown halls as well. It's a 1-4. They'll leave an anchor inside of the B site. Get the feeling this game is... Astralis are decent at changing the pace, I'll give them that. So we could speed it up and they might want to dictate that sooner than later, but you get the feeling distinctly that early on they're certainly feeling each other out and these rounds are going the distance for that reason. There's still a good amount of utility left, no smokes for the CTs however.
Yeah, this is quite cagey from Astralis, no one taking any sort of duel, hunting with the first frag, they're waiting for the CT aggression, maybe bait out some of the utility, but for now, Rain still very comfortable towards that pod, but you can see him there just beneath the ladder. He flies up, that is brave. Gets a bit of intel, ruffles some feathers. The commitment towards outside comes in. Rain's decides to fall back, but Nico's here with the M4. You feel like he's going to get a couple of frags here. There's the first, us gunning them down. Solid defense so far from Faze as 4 players stand strong. Zipex with it all to do, and he's good in the clutches map with 25 seconds. I don't think there's much chance, especially now. They know exactly where he is.
A bit surprised there wasn't more attention toward the bottom of Pop Dog, knowing that they spotted and heard Rain go up the ladder inside of the halls. That said, they were quite occupied trying to find Nico, who fell back behind the smokes. Works out perfectly for them. Faze go 4-0 in the first gun round. Falls from Astralis as well. Great start. We talked about these two teams against each other. You want the start if you're Faze, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. You're going to need every round you can get here. Can't afford to lose to any pistols. Has to be the perfect game. You are slightly hamstrung with the fact you had the standing coming in last minute. But we'll see whether Astralis can get anything together here in round number 5. I don't think the bomb has been planted more than once. Indeed, it has not. Just that second round plant. And it might be a partial buy here, but a slight technical pause first, of course. Just to kind of build up the anticipation.
Nothing builds it up more.
Then silence.
Yes.
Well, if you are just joining us...
Thank you. I approve of that, Boo.
It is the second semi-final of the day, and we've got Team Liquid waiting in the grand finals. Another best of 3 after this one. The favourite certainly Astralis, but Faze with a fantastic start here. 4-0 in their favour. On the CT side of train is a very CT-sided map, we should say that, but for them, they're very happy with this situation so far. I can confirm it is a monitor that is plaguing us right now. I think it's on the Faze side. They seem to be taking their headphones off while they sort things out. Hopefully, we'll be quite quick. And we'll just see these guys calm down a little bit as they prepare themselves. Like we said, Astralis don't really have enough to buy with this one. They've got $3,000 per player, but maximum loss bonus going to the next round. They certainly can justify some upgraded pistols, maybe some Kevlar as well, some basic grenades. As Carrigan discusses with the admins here, what's the plan of action?
Yeah, monitors are kind of important to play with.
Yeah, you do need those. Headphones,
but
you can probably get away with.
You should need those, otherwise there's another issue.
And there's Major studied screens right now. The newest addition to Astralis. What a fantastic player he's become.
And we talked about this. Remember, he was removed from North. Kierby kind of swept the rug out from under Astralis with a last-minute signing to go back to North. And hey, good luck, buddy. They got some problems over there, and Magiska's come out much better off for it. And I think he's done very well in this lineup. In fact, I think he's implemented himself not with the same sort of, I guess, peak that Kierby had at the Major when they won. Sure. Obviously back in Atlanta, 2017. Played phenomenally, got the MVP of that event, but I think his consistency has been a lot better, and I think he fits the, I guess, personality of Astralis a lot more.
Yeah, he really has flourished in this team. He's probably the best counter we've seen him play. Just so fundamentally sound, great discipline and patience, and fantastic aim. A calculated aggression, I like to call it with him. He's not so ruthless anymore. Some Astralis fans, some shy ones in the crowdest teams as they hold up the shirts there. And a very popular team, probably the most popular we have up there with Faze, I'd imagine. So maybe a split crowd here today.
Yeah, currently, there you go. There's the Danes. That sign, I saw that earlier. That's pretty cool. Not sure any further activity in the booth. I don't see much going on. The Guardians got the headphones off. They're not talking, which is a good thing.
Well, all the headphones are coming off, and that really isn't a good sign.
It looks like actually they're enjoying spotting people in the crowd themselves.
They are. I can see Carrigan waving out there. Croman seem to have some fans in the front. It's a lovely sign. There's Dupree and Zipex on the end there, just discussing what's going on with the monitors.
Rain's computer's being worked on right now, as you can tell. For anyone in the arena, you can see the face cams in front of the booth. He's clearly pushed back. There's an admin doing some wires. I like the new Faze jerseys. I wasn't a big fan of the red blocked streetwear style shirts that they had.
Me too. I prefer the classic. I really missed the actual jerseys they had. I thought those were some of the best, and they got rid of it for a more urban fashion sort of approach. Didn't really work for me, but there you go.
Focus, that's what we call that. He's not spaced out, he's zoned in.
That's true. Well, we've got a couple more minutes to fill. Matt, have you got any more codes you want to give out, perhaps?
Yeah, you know what? Let's just do the second one now, Henry.
Yeah, let's do it.
Why not? I'm not going to wait till map 2. So, as mentioned, if you've got your FaceIt 7-day premium subscription card on you,
Get your cards
that's
out.
a mouthful.
Get your cards out ready.
The second winner, I'm just making sure they didn't accidentally give me one of the winners, but they haven't. The second winner in the last 4 digits is IZRH. You just won 2,000 FaceIt points. IZRH. Fortunately, I have no more to give away, so we've kind of gone in early on that one, Henry. Let's hope for less delays.
I'll get some more.
You'll get some more?
I'm quite a powerful man around here.
I actually have 7. These people in the corner can probably, I might be able to hit them.
Are you going to be throwing cards? That worked brilliantly. Wow, okay.
That was like the worst thing I've ever done. Well, maybe not the worst thing I've ever done, Henry, as we know. Pretty close, though. They're down there. If someone wants to, like, gather. Fabe, can you gather? Oh, you've already.
Get down there.
You work for FaceIt. You don't even give that to someone nice. Someone will pass them out. I'm sorry. I tried.
Like, we'll sort it out. Matt's going to practice his card throwing technique.
I'm no Gambit, that's for sure.
No, that's true. Well, it looks like we've got maybe a couple more minutes on this monitor issue. If you are just joining us, Astralis, Faze Clan, it's going to be a very, very exciting best of 3, worthy of a grand final, but Liquid are already there waiting for one of these 2 teams. And it looks like these guys still haven't got the headsets on, Matt, so we're going to have to fill for a little bit longer. Is there anything you want to talk about, anything you want to discuss with the lovely people of London?
I have had a good time in London. Actually had some time to go check it out. I was here early this time.
You were?
You didn't invite me over for dinner. I did take that personally, but it's fine.
My apartment's very small. I don't have a table to eat myself, let alone more than one person.
I heard you have a coffee table.
I have a coffee table.
I've heard all about that.
That's about as exciting as it gets.
All right, very cool.
There's one coffee table where I have to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner off.
Well, at least the fans know how to keep themselves entertained. Rain has pulled himself closer to the desk, which is encouraging. I don't see anyone still working on it. I think they're just doing final checks as he'll log back in. So we shouldn't be too long.
Well, we've waited long enough. I'll tell you what, when it goes live again, we'll get the hype back in the building. It is Rain who's getting his PC set up. There's Raoul from FaceIt, just sorting things out, trying to make sure this gets going as quickly as possible. It's Dupree. Crowd favorite, new hair, of course. Bring in the blonde. You ever considered dyeing your hair, Matt?
I did it once as a kid.
Maybe we should bring it back.
Nah, probably not. I did like that 90s Backstreet Boy, like frosted tips thing.
Okay,
yeah,
I did that once as well.
Yeah, there you go. We've all been there.
There's Guardian exchanging the fist bumps with the coach, Robin.
Maybe we'll do it as a forfeit. You can pick a color and we'll come up with something.
Okay. I would probably go with green, if I'm honest.
I was thinking turquoise. Yeah, like a green, yeah.
There's your favorite. There's your hero. Carrigan. He's getting everyone waving. He does know how to work the crowd, doesn't he?
He's pretty good.
He uses them as a weapon.
Actually, no, to be fair, yeah, that's not even banter. He's always been that way in terms of using the crowd for or against him, getting them riled up. I remember in specific games when playing against Virtus Pro or playing against Fnatic, when the fans were against them, he'd use them as sort of his nemesis and feed off of their tears. And yeah, he had good times with it.
Well, they are up 4-0. Faze with a fantastic start here in this best of 3. Carrigan getting the crowd riled up. He wants them on his side. And Astralis now with the uphill battle on the T side of train. It is the Faze pick, but it's a very good map for Astralis. They'll be wanting to take this one home. And hopefully, I've just heard Matthew, we've got 1 minute.
Nice.
Before we get going. So we're going to try and bring the energy back in the room once we're ready to go. We'll make sure we're definitely on the server before we start bringing
Carrigan's waving to you again.
He does like me. Hello, Carrigan. There it is. He knows he likes me. There it is. But it looks like Rain's just getting back on the server now. Matt, are you more of a Faze fan or an Astralis fan?
I'm a fan of good Counter-Strike, Henry.
No, you don't need an answer.
Is that a cop-out?
Yeah, that is.
Listen, I've always been a fan of Astralis from the start of the TSM days because they were the underdog at the time, because they always had the issues of being top 4 consistently, but never getting over that final hurdle. And it was actually when working with Toby Wan before you and I met at the PGL kickoff season, they finally, at a 4-team tournament, they finally beat NIP, Fnatic, who were at the top at that time, and Virtus Pro. Those were about the 3 biggest teams you could have had at that event, and they did it. They won it, and I was a big fan of that storyline. And ever since then, I've kind of just been a fan of the team. I've gotten to know them very well, but how can you not like Faze? On the same side, you've got Nico, Guardian, obviously Olaf not here, but explosive style, fun to watch. I think right now, given the streak that Astralis is kind of on, it's nice to see.
It's great to have. This is actually number 1 and number 2 in the world right now, going at it. There it is. We've got lots of fans here today. Let's have a dab, maybe.
The one. She's a 1.3 legend.
But hopefully we're good to go any second. Carrigan is even got the torch out.
He's trying to get the phones out. Yeah, get the torches out.
Do you want to get your phones out? We always do this when we're getting a little bit desperate for time.
House lights down.
Everyone put your torches on your phones. Every single one of you. You will be removed if you don't take part, so I do suggest you get it going.
Henry G personally will remove you.
So there we go. And it's always nice to kind of bring this one out. Maybe some ringtones on as well, kind of have a little party going on.
I like it. This is beautiful. I was trying to get mine up, but I think my phone's going to die, so.
Carrigan is orchestrating everything as usual. He's the one with the main torch there. There we go. Faster, faster. There we go. That is beautiful. That is lovely.
It's like an orchestrated game of Simon Says with Carrigan. It's almost romantic at this point.
Yeah, it's quite nice. We've taken the lights down. We've got the phones on. It is quite a special moment here, and this is going to be a very special game. Can only apologise for the slight issue.
Looks beautiful now.
But this guy, I can see Rain. He's moving the mouse. His screen is back on. Carrigan, thank you so much for providing the halftime entertainment.
Keep in mind as well, just to go back to storylines, these teams, Carrigan was removed.
He was.
Ooh,
okay, let's just settle this right now.
Yeah, let's gauge it.
Right, who here, let's be quiet, right, who here is a Faze fan? That's quite resounding.
Hang on, I'm going to take out the headset.
One more time, who here is a Faze fan? Okay, and then we're going to do it one more time. Who here loves Astralis? That's like
with 50, the headset
50.
off, that's super close. I can't tell.
All right, well, it doesn't bode too well for Astralis right now. 4-0 down, but they still have the fans with them. I do think these are the 2 most popular teams right now. 2 great brands coming at it. Faze with superstars across the board are standing for this event, but they are doing extremely well so far.
And I was just going to go back. I mean, it's a known storyline at this point. It's been a few years in the works, but obviously Kerrigan was removed from Astralis, went to Faze. When he was removed, he was quite bitter about it, and then Faze was supposed to be the team that was built to beat them, and it hasn't always gone that way, so it is an excellent rivalry when it gets going. Speaking of getting going, I gotta use the bathroom, so hopefully sooner than later, Henry.
You can just go up here if you like, I don't mind.
All right.
Yeah, there's privacy up here. It's all fine.
Is there?
Yeah. We'll turn the lights off. There's Nico, considered one of the world's best. I don't think we've seen the best Nico in 2018. I think he's had quite a up and down performance, especially in grand finals. Always going to be deadly. But we've got a small anti-cheat issue now. We're just going to be working on that. The issues just keep coming and coming. But hopefully the idea is to get all the issues sorted now, and then the grand finals can be perfect. That's what we're going to do, make sure everything's perfect now. As these guys really are working things out. You can see there's about 5 or 6 admins in their favors who've got into this point to try and work things out. So we'll be waiting a little longer here. 6 bodies in the booth, getting nice, hot and sweaty, trying to work out the anti-cheat problem. So Matt, have you got any experience of anti-cheats? Maybe you can get in there and help out as well.
No, I've never had a problem with one, actually, believe it or not. It's because I don't cheat, Henry.
Well, that's always a good place to be. Don't cheat.
Okay, all right, fair enough. I'm gonna throw a stipulation in there because it's one of those gotchas. I used to cheat in like Mega Man when you do like the up, down, down, B. Why did I pick Mega Man, Henry?
I don't know.
Don't know. But yeah, I used to cheat in like those kind of games, single player games.
I don't think that those are more codes and cheats.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So
and the game makers clearly put them in there like as an Easter egg.
Okay, Matthew, well, that's enough nonsense for now. We are going to throw to a little break, as I've been told. Hopefully it won't be too long, ladies and gentlemen. I can only apologise, and the action will be back right after this. Do not go anywhere.
What is the bomb code?
Oh my god, no, I have no idea.
4193.
256.
6, 8, 9.
It's like 4.
There isn't a 4 in it.
There's no 4.
No.
2, 5, 6, 9.
You got it right! You got it right! I give you one long time. I'm sorry, man. You didn't win.
What did you win?
You were nowhere near.
6, 2, 2, 7. Done.
No. What is the code typed in onto the bomb? 5.
5, 6, 7.
Oh my goodness! This guy's a machine. You've actually done it. That was right. What the hell? That was it.
Who studies that?
When do I get given the Dragon Law?
I keep telling you, they're not dropping you a Dragon Law. They're going to drop you the 900,000 Face-It points. Face it, they're going to drop you 900,000 Face-It points and you can buy a Dragon Law. They're not going to give it to you.
So I get given the item in my inventory.
You get given
Face-It Mikey's going to trade it over to me, personally.
Not quite. They're going to give you the Face-It points so
sorry,
you can
one
buy
sec.
it.
Hello? Yeah, no, I'm still with her. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to get the Dragon Law. We'll sell it after that. Yeah, cool. All right, Mum. Love ya. Sorry.
They're not going to give you the Dragon Law, though. They're just going to give you the Face-It points so you can buy the Dragon Law.
No, in my hands, Kobe throw to me, grab it, Kenny S comes round the corner.
There's no use explaining it to anybody.
He's out of there. I'm on A site. They're rushing me from short and long. I'm coming round the oil. You know I had to do, yeah.
Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's the second semi-final of the day, Astralis versus Faze. We have had a few technical issues, but it's led us to this point. It's 4-0 in favor of the Faze clan. They're playing with a stand-in, but they're still number 2 in the world. The fist bump starting to come through. And ladies and gentlemen, I said I'd get the hype back in the room. I'd like you to join me as Matthew puts his headset back on. Are you all right?
Yeah, much better now. My back teeth were floating, Henry. I'm back to normal levels.
London, are you ready? Let's get back into the action. Astralis versus Faze. It is 4-0, and we'll see Astralis now with the pistols. We're going to have CZ, a Glock for device, suggests he's getting ready for the AWP as we go forward. This should be another round for Faze, but an inside push, we're ready for it as Croman does the damage, drops the incendiary, just trying his best to deny that bomb.
This is not uncommon as well when you get a long technical delay to see the next round be quite quick, because typically the patience of the players changes. Good nade from Croman. Down goes pretty much everyone. Bomb planted at least for Astralis. That had to be a goal. Going on to a max loss bonus. They'll take what they can get from it. Bomb is easily going to be defused. Device, the last one up. They know exactly where he is. So, round done. Device might just get away without giving up any further kills and any further kill reward. It's all rifles and AWPs. It's not the end of the world. But it's 5-0, and here we go, Hank.
This is where the game really has to get going for Astralis. Yeah, it's getting a little bit worrisome for them, but 5-0, the AWP for device. They tried to change the pace for the first time there, an inside push. We'll see whether they want to just go with the default once again with the full weaponry. We're going to have 1 AWP, 4 AKs, all the utility, Molotov, smokes and all. You won't see many HE grenades on the terrorist side. They'll focus more on flashbangs and those Molotovs, of course. Guardian watches towards Ivy. He'll be setting Carrigan up, who's starting to push down as well. You can see there at the front, the idea is Guardian take the first shot. Even if he misses, Carrigan's going to swing around the corner, try and get those picks. Smokes start to be deployed towards outside. It's range to defend first. AK-47 does nothing as Dupree completely removes it from the server, but they're still fighting back. Guardian and Nico will be finding frags left, right, and center. 3 versus 3 now as Croman comes down the ladder, but the accuracy is going to fall apart for him. He's up to Zipex to hold on to that pop dog area, doing a great job so far. Carrigan really can turn around on his head though. Device, he has no idea. Go for the first frag, but only can find one. And now Guardian up against it as the bomb has been planted.
Bomb planted, but a smoke on it. He's got the AWP and he's got the HP advantage. Kit as well, spots Glaive on the top of the ladder, sitting duck at that position. He's very good in clutches. We've given him 3 tries. Finally with a rifle, he'll get it. And Astralis on the board at 5-1, but with 1 player surviving.
Yes, that means that loss bonus is now being removed. It gets up to a maximum of 5 is what Astralis had. If you win a single round, that now goes back to 0. Of course, if you keep winning rounds, that's not a problem, but if you lose the next round of only 1 player surviving that previous, you can be in a lot of trouble. It's Zipex to beat Guardian in the 1 versus 1. You can see they are fully invested in round number 7 now, so we'll see whether they can actually keep going and find consecutive rounds. That has to be the case here for Astralis now.
Flash out toward Ivy from Kerrigan early on. Zipix toward the Brown Hall's device will start it, but that's responded by Nico. And in the process of that, and all the commotion, Rain has been silently working out toward the front of the A site. So he's got good position so long as he can get coverage from the Pop Dog. And Guardian is going to give him that coverage as he actually heads that direction by climbing forward and finding Dupree completely unsuspecting of that possibility.
4 versus 3. Zipex is sneaking through. He's actually managed to get towards the lower bomb site, completely undetected. Croman has no idea. Oh my goodness, the timings there, unbelievable. Zipex misses out on the information, but not the kill. Gets the first and takes down Guardian. Equalizes things to a 3 versus 3, but I can see Rain flew up the Pop Dog there, and Magisk found him. All of a sudden, Astralis take the lead, but Croman still undetected here. He could take down Zipex. Can he find the frag? Comes down to timings again. Will Zipex find him? Not gonna be. And now the 2 versus 2 ensues.
Kerrigan to start it, HP advantage to him, and he has a shot toward Magisk, but the AK prevails with the headshots, all to Croman, and it's Astralis back-to-back, importantly, because it was the reset. Henry, I've got to point out something positive.
Okay,
we often get on each other's case on Twitter or whatever and focus on the negativity. During that timeout, we obviously were interacting with the guys from Faze. We have a laptop up here with the map on it. They told the admins that they could see that, and they did not want an advantage and asked the admins to come to us and move that. So fair play to Faze for not wanting any advantage at all. I think that deserves to be mentioned and applause perhaps given.
Absolutely so. We do like fair play in Counter-Strike. We're seeing a lot of players come through with that sort of information the last few events. It's great to see, and I do applaud that. So it is going to be a tactical pause for Faze here at this point. They've lost 2 rounds in a row. They do have enough to buy into round number 8. It's going to be the double or setup. And my God, it's a scary one. Nico and Guardian with the AWPs trying to carry this round because their teammates can't really buy. It will be Croman, MP9, Kerrigan on the CZ. Rain's got an M4, but no utility whatsoever. Nico and Guardian know they have to step up in this particular round, and they're going to be trying to find those frags nice and early on. Watch out for this. Here we go, round number 8. As Astralis will be tested here. Device won't know this is coming. And we've got Nico going towards the upper ramp as well. That's where Device could be waiting. As we can see, he starts to make his way towards that area. Will he be ready for Nico on the other side?
So AWP to the corner early. We know what this means. They can hold position. It means they can hold B a lot more effectively, get the early advantage. But he going down gives Device a brilliant entry because look at this. They were actually almost waging on that after being perfect and them having 4 players already on A. Device cuts off rotation with the AWP bomb already planted. There's really nothing in this for Faze.
They're going to have to save the AWP. Very disappointing round there, but we did build it up. Nico going towards the upper ramp. If he doesn't get that kill, that's pretty much it. No one there to play off him. He loses the AWP. Bomb planted. And a very rare scene here, 9 players surviving, and the round's going to be over. But Guardian still hunting. He knows they'll be looking for frags here. He'll hold by the dumpster. Kerrigan trying to watch their backs as Dupree comes sniffing for kills towards the Ivy area. But CZ, always going to be so deadly at that sort of range. Finds the first kill, uses the smoke to try and get the weapon back.
Good shot. I was going to say Guardian. You usually expect to see him hit those. It's Ring that sneaks in behind. Kerrigan will go down. Guardian will keep himself alive by getting the shot of the AWP, and they're going to need that into the next round, given that it's now 3 in a row for Astralis. We did think that Train favored them ever so slightly. We know Faze is very good on it. Keep in mind, you go back to those tiebreakers last year. Faze was much improved on this map, but right now, in the current conditions, going to need to pull back into this on the CT side.
Well, they do manage to save some weaponry here. Kerrigan did lose the CZ, goes down to that P250, but Guardian still has his trusty sniper rifle, the AWP. He'll be holding connected this time, nothing too aggressive, but the flashbang does elude him. Dupree's made his way out towards Olaf, and Nico just as the pistol as well, holding behind the bomb train, trying to do any damage he can. That's quite an ambitious shot. Zipex pre-firing corners, he knows there's potential the AWP could be at the lower ramp. But Dupree now established, just waiting for a mistake to be made. He knows he's got a strong position here. CTs will need information at some point in the round. Now hold up. They just want to make sure that no frags can be found without any sort of trade. That's the operative word here in these sort of scenarios. You want to make sure you're going together, and any frag you do challenge, there's an opportunity for your teammates to get stuck in as well. Dupree completely dismantles Nico on the bomb side there, and it's going to be a 5 versus 4. It looks like he's hungry for a few more, as Kerrigan does take a lot of bullets towards the Ivy area. Dupree only good for 1. Magisk will equal the situation down to a 3-on-3.
missed his opportunity to fire at Glaive, and in doing so, he actually stepped one step too far because Device was waiting on the AWP. They found Glaive eventually. It was Croman to do so. Magisk responds. It's on to Guardian once more. Bomb is not planted. It is dropped, but recovered. And not within the vision range of Guardian. It should be planted. Magisk is not 100% certain in doing so because he's still worried about Z Connector. That gives that uncertainty. That gives Guardian a chance to sneak in. Can find the kill fast enough on Device, he can easily get behind them. He's going to post instead. Now the question is, does he look? Absolutely not. Device was aware of it. He cleared every other angle. And another round, 4 in a row for Device.
Absolutely is, but the loss bonus helping out Faze here tremendously. They have been saving weapons as well. They do have one more full buy available to them. But if they lose this one, they also give up the lead. It'll be 5-5, and Astralis looking hot since they found the weaponry and got Device AWPs, finding the openers. We'll have a look at the scoreboard while we're here. 11 kills for Rain at the very tippity top of Faze Clan. It'll be Carrigan at the bottom with 3 and 6. Top of Astralis will actually be Glaive, Magisk, and Zipex with 5 frags apiece. Device with 4 and Dupree with 3. Device goes towards that lower round. Pre-fires the area. It's going to be Croman to get tagged up. Down to 25. And lucky he didn't find that kill, Device. We'll be waiting for the flames to extinguish and see where his teammates can go for an inside execution here potentially. Just mix things up. Haven't really gone for a full one of those on a full gun round at this stage. Croman will drop their smoke towards that lower ramp as Rain starts to probe towards main entrance. Gets control for now, but once that smoke goes down, he'll probably consider falling back.
Smoke down deep on the sidewalk. Good position from Croman to find a gap in that smoke. Quite clever, actually. Top of White Train. Usually you'd be worried about the ramp in that position, but it's set up accordingly with the AWP, and Guardian unable to use that as of yet to effect. He does get Device, but that's all he finds so far. Still the hefty advantage, you have to say, to Faze. Glaive's going to try and just get a bomb plant at this point, surely. He's lost his only teammate alive, and Guardian does swing back out. It goes 6-4. They never give up the lead, and they keep 4 players alive, importantly.
Yep, so looking quite decent there for the Faze side. Guardian hitting the shots required to close things out there. Croman, fantastic stuff. I've always been a fan of his. We've cast him in a few minors now, and he always is, what I would say, nothing too flashy, but he's a safe anchor, always good for 1 frag, maybe even 2, and gets good information to his teammates. You can see why Faze picked him up, and it's actually knocked Astralis down to an eco here, but they're on the T side of train. That's not a huge deal. You've already posted 4 frags after losing the pistol, so you know you can probably get maybe 6 or 7. That would be ideal at this point. Even 5 is doable for a team like Astralis. We know how strong they are on the CT side of a map like Train. Glaive will have the CZ. They've got Deagles around them as well, but no utility, no armor. Should be Faze finding 7-4. Anything else would be an absolute disaster for them at this point. Not only be the reset, but losing to pretty much a full eco. Rain opens things up, but he gets shut down by Glaive. And Carrigan and Nico start to go to town on Astralis. That should be it. Nice little lineup for Nico as he gets the 3-piece at the end.
Yeah, as if Nico needs an opportunity to get more kills in easy fashions. It just speaks to how close the last few rounds were, that Astralis gets broken down so quickly, but they'll go back to guns on this round and immediately therefore the AWP for Device, so that battle ensues. He's been successful, Device, in most cases. Remember that round, that corner with Nico picking up the op to go there quickly. This time it's going to be just Guardian. He's not heading that direction as of yet.
Let's have a look if Astralis want to change things at all. I can see smokes lined up pretty much straight away here. Croman, you get tagged up in this position by Device before, but it's unlikely Device will pre-fire that every single time. As they hold up in that aligned position to drop the smokes here, Carrigan making things a little bit uncomfortable with that smoke. They are considering his presence. Rain goes to the double spray down, not going to quite get it though, but how did Glaive get away on 78 HP? Rain will be happy with that regardless. Got the kill on one of the key players, Device. And now it's a 5 versus 4. He probably thinks he did a little bit more damage than that. Nico watching towards main entrance to see if there's any sort of reaction from Dupree.
Open angle for Nico. Back up from Rain. They've been playing aggressive toward this pop-dog position time and time again with that AWP already down in there as well. Good start, but Dupree actually prevails to catch him off, and that was due to the fact that Nico was in transition. It never looked like that would be a possibility, not from aim. So that's a bit of an overstep from Faze. He'll guard that AWP as well, but the execution instead. With Nico this far forward in toward Popchalk, they have to consider it. He's given himself up. They know he's there, but considering him and looking in that direction, it's going to give Carrigan a perfect angle on top of the train. Good find from Magisk.
The run through the flames would have certainly worth it. Very winnable at this point, but maybe not anymore. Guardian just finds 2 sensational shots there to close things out with the AWP. This is why we get excited about the All prospects on a map like Train. Players like himself, it's such an open map. He can do such disgusting, unspeakable things with this particular weapon. We see him dancing around, he's got so much cover as he finds the final 2 frags there. Looking good now for Faze after losing 4 in a row. They now answer back with 3 of their own. There will be another eco for Astralis here. Deagles, CZs, no armor, no nades, as Faze will be very comfortable round number 13, coming to the final few sectors now of the first half. Faze looking for double digits. Will they be able to pick it up? That's the question. This round should be a bit of a gimme, but going forward, there will be a nice buy for Astralis in the next round. They've currently got about $2,000 per player. They're going to get $2,900 each into the next round, so the Orb's certainly going to be coming out once again.
Nico, good find. Confidently holds toward quad. Back toward B. They'll be funneling Croman waiting on the inside of the smoke. Will love to take advantage of that. Gets 1 kill, has to back away. 12 HP, but that's fine. They've got a 2-man advantage. Bomb carry is Zipix. He's on 4. Without any further utility, to try and get toward planting that is going to be a massive task. It's very unlikely as Croman does find Dupree, and as they go back in, that bomb is scurrying the other direction for good reason.
Just formality at this point. We'll see if Device and Zipex can do anything with Glocks, no armor. 4 HP on one of the players. I doubt it very much. I'm hoping a big mistake is made at this point. Nico takes damage, but still finds both the kills. 3 for him in total. His total must be getting pretty much up there. He's got 14 frags and 6 deaths. So yeah, definitely finding the kills required there. Actually, pretty equal distribution for Faze. 12, 14, 13, 13. Carrigan at the bottom with 5 and 7. That's fine. They're doing a very good job overall. And this is going to be a tactical timeout for the Danes here. So 2 rounds left. They've only got 4 so far. It is their opponent's map pick, but a map they're very well versed on, very skilled on. Haven't really seen much at all from those spell of 4 rounds. They've been shut down in the early sectors. They're 5-0 now. They've lost 4 rounds in a row here. I'd say 1 round would be fine. If they can get 2 more, that'd be excellent. Let's see what they can bring to the table. I can confirm Device has purchased the AWP. He has not got enough for armor though, so he's going to be what we call a glass cannon, making him very vulnerable to grenades, especially those pesky HEs. And if any bullets touch him at all, aim punch is a factor. That basically means you've got no armor, you take a shot even to the chest, your orb crosshairs flying up to the sky. It's very difficult to find kills.
Has that AWP, but he's not going anywhere specific with it early on. Back off this time. They're forced out early. Nico's still at E-Box. Play off of each other, but giving up that position. Nico's got to go big from there. Manages 2. That's pretty much as good as he was going to get with Rain going down so quickly. Well, Device still has to pull this back. Man advantage again for Faze. Already has gone to the pistol, expecting their arrival on the backside of that smoke any second. Meanwhile, it's the AWP. Oh, didn't react in time. Had the angle. Spawn him in return, but he shuffles it over the other direction, finds Kerrigan. Guardian completely blinded on the site, nearly got caught out by a 20 HP for Device and 39 for Zipix, and Zipix is trying to play off of his teammate to wait for it to present itself. Somehow Guardian gets by.
Yeah, I don't know how he survives that one, Matt, but look at Croman making his way towards T-Spawn. He's gone for the long con here. It's going to take him a while, and Guardian knows it. He pretty much has to surrender at this point, allow them to plant, and hope Croman's play will yield the result they're looking for here. Everyone is low, apart from Croman here. Device not looking towards the pop dog, and that's exactly where Guardian's heading towards. Surely Croman can get it done here. We'll see as he starts away his mate towards the entrance.
Oh, I think that worked out. I think Device may have actually heard Guardian and backed off with the AWP accordingly, because he made a lot of noise getting to the top of the ladder. The fact that Croman came around and found the angle works out perfectly, because he goes more than that to find Zipix, and we get a double digits already for Faze.
There we go. Great play by Croman. They didn't see it coming. Gets that first kill, finishes things off as well. And it will be double digits here for Faze. I'm going to say one thing, that Device, 5 for 11, not exactly the maestro we're used to seeing. He's found a couple of impactful kills and was instrumental in their success in that spell of 4 they had, but been very quiet ever since. So round 15 coming through, double orb set up once again, this time Guardian and Carrigan. He was actually the secondary orb for Astralis for the longest of time, so Good to see him pick the weapon back up. And Croman heading towards that lower ramp once again. It's Guardian who's looking towards main entrance, going for the wallbang, not going to connect this time. On around in the first half, Amages kicks things off in style. Lovely headshot there. That's the AWP move, remember. Carrigan holding Ivy with that particular weapon, and it looks like Astralis will be taking round number 15 here. It's now a 5 versus 2.
Just waiting for the opportunity to take down Guardian. Will get exactly that. So 5 rounds looking very likely. Croman, the mercenary, is going to have to be rather aggressive in this situation with bomb about to be planted. Oh, actually, take that back. It was only arriving at that point in time. A device, good position, catches him out. So 10-5 is where we land. Perhaps a little bit underwhelming from Astralis, winning 4 in a row as well, and then not being able to build up the economy over that time was a big key in why Faze turned that half back around.
Yeah, they had plenty of rounds when 1 or 2 players survived, and as soon as they lost the first round after the successful 4, they were on ecos all the time. It felt like this couldn't get established after that initial success, so it will be 10-5, but like we said, a team like Astralis, that's not really a problem at all. We see them come back from worse at this very tournament. Remember, against Cloud9, they were down 12-3, didn't really drop a single round in the second half. Let's see if they can replicate that form as we get into the second half. Now Astralis on the CT side, they've purchased 4 sets of armor, Glaive with the diffuse kit and the smoke. No upgraded pistols, I tell a lie. Rain's got a P250 and armor, and there's going to be a Molotov available as well as we get into the second half. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be an inside play, and here comes the pain from Zipex. Gets 1, that's all he can find, but it's a very important frag as it delays the bomb.
From range, trying to do any damage he can. Will finally get device in to help, and the low HP for Rain just barely is able to get the bomb down. They're going to Molotov that immediately as well because they want them off the defuse, so as to have a chance to duel and not be held at bay while that defuse is happening, but it may not matter. Kerrigan left, okay, fair enough against 4. He's gotten 2 already, goes aggressive toward the corner. Dupree does the same and comes out on top.
That's the pistol Astralis needed, the first steps of a very long journey here on Train. It's going to be 10-6. The defuse comes in comfortably. Dupree had the kit after getting 2 frags. He also finds a P250 on the floor. Pretty simple approach there from Faze. 3 players towards the upper ramp. You're trying to focus on the anchor player there. Hope he doesn't trade out at all. But Device and Zipex finding the frags required. Like I said, Zipex finding that initial kill just to deny the plant by 5 seconds or so was absolutely everything. It made things very complicated to get the bomb planted in the end. And there it is. Carrigan certainly made things uncomfortable, but overall, the comfortable defuse was fine. It's going to be just a full eco now for Faze to bring out the AKs in the third. You can see the Deagle for Nico and Rain. 3 Glocks without armor, and Glaive wanted to get aggressive here towards the Ivy position. That's a good grenade. Oh my goodness, it's an absolute nuke as it lands on Nico and Carrigan there. Oh my God, they've been wrecked.
That could not be any more perfect. That bounce, both of them down to mid-20s. Zipex backs off to B. This all going well for Astralis to pull it back. Rain will take the corner, and Zipex down below watching up to it, but not able to spot right away. Bomb still waiting back toward T-spawn at this point. Eagle has to be perfect. I think it may have just spotted Zipex. Yeah, he did. He tries to strafe shoot. Zipex will go back in the sight. Knows he's got to close that distance down a little bit. Good find from Glaive on Kerrigan. Couldn't do anything with a Glock at that range. Matter of procedure, I think, at this point. Obviously, the goal for Faze is to try and get the bomb down.
Yeah, unlikely that's going to happen, but they're getting the AKs out of the next round. This one is just try and waste as much CT utility as you can. If you trade out maybe 1 kill with a plant, that's fantastic, but even that's going to be difficult here. 5 versus 3. Guardian, Croman, and Rain doing what they can. They managed to at least get past the lower ramp unscathed, but here comes the frags. Does Guardian get that plant in? Okay, that's a win in my book. The fact that Faze get that bomb down is a huge deal. Sure, they get 0 kills, but that's an extra $800 per player on the Faze side now. They already got the bomb down in the initial pistol there, Matt, so they're onto a very good buy here. Even a full gun round, I would say. I might be able to bring out the AWP. Let's have a look. They certainly can. Guardian can afford it. Purchases it straight away. Can't get a helmet, but he has got Kevlar. So just go to show you how beneficial those plants are, even if you get 0 kills.
So close to being denied. Zipex was a little timid, I think, in taking the duel. So 10-7. The gap closed. Early buy and an AWP. As you mentioned, it's crucial for them. Nico will hold the bomb at least for now, and he's heading toward the halls. They'll hold up for the moment, wait to see if anyone's going to peek. In fact, they're going to nade it. Wondering if there'll be aggression. Thankfully, from the Astralis perspective, there is not. Speaking of, though, Glaive did go quite far away down that Ivy position once more. They weren't standing behind the box that time, Henry. I wonder why.
Indeed. This time, the scouts. Is that going to be the right weapon to challenge Guardian with? I'm not so sure. Device, you'll think better of it. Good smoke deployed, and still a 5-on-5 for now. But look at this positional control from dupreeh.
Good news about that flash is, despite that it didn't amount to a kill, they identified that there's an op-out and where it is early in the round at the very least. Guardian on 62 is going to rotate back around as a result of that. They need to make it applicable elsewhere. But Astralis will position ready for the weapons. Device, he's been dynamic as well. Needs a headshot, remember. dupreeh is in perfect position if he's patient. Facing the wall, does not want to be flashed. Conversely, he could be flashed in from Magisk. He's got one to work with, and he's behind him on top of the train. So when the smokes come over, watch and see if that's the case. dupreeh's waiting for it. He can hear Nico. No flash from his teammate as of yet. He just wants to take the straight duel. As the flash goes behind him, it's going to be too deep. dupreeh's ready. Nico's in the air. Straightforward. Meanwhile, it's over toward the brown halls that Xyp9x is ready at range with a UMP to take down Chroman, and Device gets in position to support that. Second shot he landed in the round on Guardian, likewise on Rain. So all of the damage applied by him, no assist required for the Scout, and a headshot to the edge of the train onto Kerrigan. Pretty swift round from a Scout.
My God, he was quiet in the first half, but he's loud and proud here in the third of the second. That was absolutely excellent from Device there. I hope we can get a replay and see some of those crisp headshots coming in with the Scout. First shot was great, second was impactful, the third sounded tremendous. We'll see how good it was. Straight through the bomb train there, Matt. Really, really impressive stuff, and he manages to steal away an AWP as well. Astralis are right back in this game now, 10-8 on the CT side, and it's pretty much full eco for Faze here. Some Deagles, P250s, as Magisk comfortably pushes towards the Ivy game. Will it be a straight-up kill? 6 HP for Chroman.
Truthfully, the second one went too far because it didn't bounce, but still a very smart play early on. That's twice they've done that. Another nade, more nade damage. You guys have been talking about this. Astralis and their use of nades lately has been incredible.
It really has. It's defining how the game can be played, how useful HE grenades, if thrown properly. If you know the tendencies of a default or a team like Faze, you know what positions they like to hold, where their flight paths are, and you could double nade those positions at the right times, you can do a ton of damage. And they're the first team in CSGO really to take advantage.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like nades at this point are almost used optimistically. We all buy one in matchmaking, we just say, I'll just throw it here. They're actually putting some thought behind it, and it shows. Device, speaking of shots, Nico that takes his head off. That might allow Rain to get the bomb plant down, and he does. Nico not only allows that with the first shot, but protects his teammate by getting the shot from higher. It's still not going to go their way. It's Astralis to pick up the round. We go 10-9.
We certainly do. Bomb will be defused, but another plan there for Faze means they will have money with the loss bonus. Currently 4-0 in the second half here, but the bomb's been planted 3 times. All for Guardian once again. As we get into round number 5 here. Astralis looking to tie things up. No double AWP setup for them just yet. You'll very rarely see Astralis pick up a double AWP setup. It's actually dupreeh, maybe sometimes Glaive that picks it up, but I guess you could say that might be a weakness for Astralis, but Device is so good with the AWP, I guess you can't really argue the results. The #1 team in the world right now. The formula seems to be working well as we get into another altercation towards those brown halls. Kerrigan and Rain have made it down safely towards Pop Dog for now. They'll boost behind the smoke, narrowly avoiding dupreeh's bullets there towards the Pop Dog area. And now they need to be very careful. That boosters find the first kill, and Nico with the second from the pallets.
Good opening for Faze. Perhaps their first round in this half as Guardian's going to collect Xyp9x and something on the Glaive. Good find on the first one, just barely at the top of that ladder. It looked like he was almost still on it, but must have been just on the top of it rather than inside of the room. Only gets the one. So just as in the first half, when we came so close to tying on 5-5, Faze pull back a 2-round lead when they went 6-4. They do it this time at 11-9, give themselves some money to play with. Unfortunately, it's not quite the same result in that at that point in time, they forced Astralis back to pistols. They'll be able to bring guns up immediately.
Remember, this is where Faze really will struggle on the T side of this particular map. CT side was fine, they could hold it together, and Chroman was playing solidly towards inner, but this is where the coordination with synergy was a little bit off. It's unclear how much they could possibly practice with him on the T side of this map, but they just sprays 2 of them down. They went for the drop, and it's not going to work out whatsoever. At this stage, Astralis don't really need to fight these choke points. Device can fall back. They've got such a firm lead here in the round. 11-9, and this would be a reset for Faze as well. Chroman trying to bring things back in his favor. Lovely shot towards Xyp9x, but opts to fall back after taking a nade to the face.
Good find for Croman, though, desperately needed from FaZe.
Yes, absolutely. It was getting a little bit worrying for them. Mages watching for that totem pole drop towards the Pop Dog room. You can see the corpses after the destruction that occurred there. No HP for Device. Dupree and Mages have been tagged up. What's the play here? FaZe with a minute to work with. Guardian still full HP. They have one smoke available to them. And they've opted to have a 2-2 setup on the CT side. Dupree in the Pop Dog room. Glaive watching outside, and Ivy. And Device and Mages to patrol inner. Looks like outside will be tested here. Specifically, Ivy with Guardian and Croman of the bomb heading in that direction.
So Glaive becomes the important position in this round. Nearly spotted by Guardian. I don't think he was ready for him. Checks it, but gets the smoke down. That'll buy a bit more space and time. He's tagged as he goes to the corner, and Guardian nails it. Predicts the shot, makes no mistake. We go back to 3-3, and Device is low, has to try and get the second off in position, can't do it. Guardians opened it up, Nico explodes, and the round falls apart with FaZe's patience and determination of finding this outer sight. Magisk has to rotate back around from Pop Dog. He'll hold the F4, doing so good first 5, but Nico's able to swing out immediately and respond. FaZe go 12-9.
What a fantastic sequence there from Guardian. That was a round that looked impossible for them to do anything with. It's 4 versus 3. They didn't really have much map control whatsoever. The 2 players towards Ivy. Nico holding for rotations at main entrance. And these shots from Guardian are just absolutely perfect. Device didn't see it coming whatsoever. And as soon as Guardian takes away all that aggro, Nico's ready for anyone coming out of the Pop Dog. Takes 2 kills down and they steal it away. You can see how that's affected Astralis here. Nico going towards main entrance, finds Magisk in transition. They've got 2 rifles and now 2 pistols. AWP for Device, but it will be Glaive to strike first with the HE. 4 versus 4. As the Ivy play comes in, Glaive completely flashed, can do nothing about that whatsoever.
He tried to flash them in return, but it didn't work out for him. Dupree still holds toward quad, which means he's got a chance to do exactly that. Find Croman toward Hell, controls some of the Ivy threat. Got away without being spotted by Croman in return as well from that position, as well as at A main when he had players behind him. So Guardian taking the AK. 100 HP, they want Kerrigan, who used to be the CT-sided opera for Astralis, remember, way back in the day. With the lower HP, they want him to be able to find the pick. Instead, Guardian has to go aggressive. Dupree still working at quad. I'm not sure that he's fully aware of the fact that Rain is waiting behind him. He's not going to step too far back with that consideration, but timing was everything. He was really stuck between 2 very likely threats at that point. And once again, that same angle we saw in the round fall apart last time. It's Kerrigan to hit it this time, and Guardian makes no mistake on the AK. Another round. They're getting much closer toward the end as FaZe hit round 13.
Looking fantastic here from FaZe. There's not so much a tactical prowess, it's just a great teamwork in the mid stages. Even after the initial interactions with the CTs, they hustle up in the 4 versus 4, pins it correctly, the timings are spot on, the shots by Guardian are fantastic. 13-9, and Astralis now pretty much on that full lead goes at the CZs. The 1 Deagle. Dupree, 9-18. Just to know, that's a very quiet game by his standards. Been absolutely phenomenal in recent months as Nico looks for another opening pick here from the main entrance. Device above him. Doesn't have to commit to this by himself. Remember what we talked about before. When you go against pistols, you want to have trade potential. You don't want to overcommit by yourself and allow an AK to be picked up by the CTs because you've got a close range CZ kill. 5-4 though, Nico did find that first frag, and it looks like they're rotating towards the inner bomb site here. Nico is waiting for any sort of reaction now outside. This is a pretty much gimme round at this point. FaZe shouldn't be giving her much more than a couple of kills.
We're getting closer. Dupree wants to check the off angle. Remember, he did win against Nico last time he played this position, but that was with an M4. Not even going to come close to it this time. Good prediction by Nico. Good crosshair placement. Didn't have to do much other than press the button at that point in time. He did get caught out on top of the pallet again by Glaive, so resistance is futile, I suppose, as they continue to put pressure on. It's meanwhile over at B that Tippix has to be careful. Falls back away with the P250. Gets away with a shot onto Rain, but no further damage. I think Glaive wants that AK. So immediately they'll fall off of it. That looked predictable. FaZe are going to get 14, and Astralis basically have to win the next round or this is done.
I think you might be absolutely right there. We'll look at the financial situation for Astralis. Overall score, 14-9 in favor of FaZe. They're on the T side right now. Money for Astralis. There'll be a 4th stage loss bonus. They've currently got $2,000 per player. So That means to get $2,900 into the next round. There will be a full buy there. Might be a couple of compromises, especially if they have to purchase the AWP. Device has had some fantastic rounds here, so we'll see whether he wants to go for it again. I'm almost certain he will. Glaive going to save the AK, though. That certainly helps things out. Just saves the CZ, not so much. Doesn't pick up any utility, doesn't have armor, so it doesn't really do much for him, apart from having a more powerful sidearm going into round number 24 here. But Faze certainly a touching distance of finishing this one off. It's their pick. Definitely had to win it. We go on to Inferno next, a map they're no strangers to, but they're sometimes a little bit questionable on the CT side back, I would say, especially towards that B-bomb side we talk about. Maybe even a stand-in, it could be even more problematic for them. Who knows?
So tactical timeout Astralis for all of the reasons that we've mentioned. The money situation, they're not quite in a full loss round bonus, but on the CT side, this is essentially the last buy that they'll have available to them in completion. And as you say, Faze within range. Not the start Astralis would have wanted or expected. They did say in an interview, specifically Zonic said in an interview yesterday, that they will not underestimate Faze. Even with the stand-in, they know what this team's capable of. And they knew it would be the same old Faze no matter what, Olaf or otherwise. So disappointing start, but they can't be caught off by this. WP again for Guardian and for Device. It's been a heads-up duel between them, not always directly on the map per se, but certainly in terms of statistics and impact. The Device this time goes toward the corner. Good to hold, no one challenging, but standard Molotov. It's Guardian to overstep the mark a little bit early, and on top of that, they found the kill from Dupree. Zipix rotates. Very good round from Astralis. Bomb found and downed. It's Kerrigan to find. They know exactly where he is, and great response from Astralis.
There we go. Zipex mowing them down towards the low ramp as Dupree to funnel them towards inner. And at that point, Zipex is always so strong in that particular position. He finds all the kills required, 2 for him. And now Kerrigan left in a 4 versus 1. At this point, he's trying to wound them financially. Anything he can get will be beneficial for them going forward, but I don't think he finds much more than maybe 1 kill and goes down. The bomb's in a very problematic position right at the bottom of that lower ramp as he waits for the smoke to dissipate. He's got a minute to work with here. He's going to throw a flashbang in with the right click. Hopefully steal the bomb away, but Device too quick, I'm afraid. And that's Astralis on double digits now, 14-10. Money should be absolutely fine for the Faze boys, and indeed it is. They can even buy the Open Guardian. This will be their final full buy, though. So if Astralis have any chance of getting back into this one, of course it has to start here. They can't really allow Faze to get to map points so early on. There's the double spray now from Zipex. That was lovely work. And Device closing things out. Got him before the flashbang even popped, so well done to him. Single orb set up again for both teams. Round number 25, Astralis trying to avoid a defeat here on a map they're very, very good on traditionally.
Need in. Minor damage this time on Acroman. Device still ready with the AWP. Flames everywhere. 3 players just standing around them, having to wait at that point in time. Molotov thrown out toward quad. They have to consider as well. And I think they're all focusing this direction. Good position from the Jizz. Can't find a second kill. Couldn't follow up, and it nearly fell apart. Thankfully, Zipex is there to pick up the pieces, and Nico's very low. Bomb is down. They know they have to commit at this point in time. So with the smoke out, Glaive slides up. They've gone by each other. Nico is so low that it's going to be pretty straightforward. It wouldn't matter if he had 2 HP or otherwise with Device hitting that shot. But it's going to be a matter of just finding him at that point in time. As Guardian goes against 3 bombs, still out of reach and on the inside of the smoke. He just wants vision at this point in time, and that becomes harder and harder as 2 smokes plus a Molotov go down. 52 seconds, he'll back off to try and find an alternative angle.
At this stage, Astralis don't really have to do much. They've got the bomb, they don't want to feed Guardian at all. Wait for that time to run down, let him play himself. Do not run at him one by one. You see the money's very low for Faze. The Guardian ideally wants to save this orb, but he's going to give it a crack anyway. Surely this is where he goes down, and indeed it is. Great round there from Device. Gets 2 more kills. Starts to really get Astralis back into this one. It's 14-11. And like we said, Faze should be on eco here. That was their attempt at changing the pace up. Went for the initial set piece right at the beginning of the round there. But got met by the M4s. And of course, the AWP didn't really find many kills whatsoever. So, is this the eco now for the international squad? They're going to be taking a tactical timeout just to discuss their options. We do have $6,000 for Kerrigan. Nico at 5K. It's the others who are hovering around $3,000. So they're going to work out, is it worth it? I would say take a partial here. There's no need to spend everything they've got and completely cripple yourself financially. Let's just make sure they're covered for the future rounds. We still have a buffer here. So get the CZs out, get the Deagles and the D-Lang Sinners being purchased right now. So Rain, You'll get the CZ. They could have purchased up with Galils and AKs, maybe even one off, but I think this is the correct call. You can even win these rounds, Matt. It's not outside the realms of possibility. CZs and Armor with the utility can win a round on track.
Well, finally, a chance for Astralis to stretch their legs a little bit. They've carved their way back into this game. They've not once had a lead. They've been within a round on 2 occasions. You can have a lead. Best to have it probably at the end, I would say. As Rain runs in, though, you said those CZs are certainly capable. Glaive overran, but just has to be careful of the same fate, but he's not going to have anything to do with that. Sprays down 3, and it's just Kerrigan. Majist gets that as well. USP at range.
There we go. After losing the first kill to those pesky CZ, this Mages that saves the round completely. They're still fighting back in this first map. It's not over just yet. 14-12 and still 2 to go for Faze. Even if they find map point, they still have to convert the next round after that. Round 27 here, full buy, of course, for both teams at this stage of the partial from Faze. And what's the play? What's the call that's going to get them to round number 15, at least guarantee overtime? They are going to throw initial smokes to suggest a fast commitment as the smokes are deployed towards the left and right-hand side of the trains. But Device finds the first shot again. Nico's been such a beast so far, but he's being tamed here in round number 27. Device takes him down very early on in the round, and that's going to stifle Faze. As we enter the 5 versus 4, Rain waiting towards the pop dog room, throws the Molotov to push back Dupree. Wallbang is coming through. Will Dupree capitalize? He certainly will. Not scared of Rain whatsoever, and continues to find frags for Astralis here.
Rare you see someone take that dual firing upward. Great read from Dupree, knowing that he was committing to that spray. Majist will take down Kerrigan. It's all gone the way of Astralis. They might get back within 1 round yet again, as Croman spotted up inside of the smoke. Another very, very lopsided situation for Guardian to work with. Does have the bomb. You want to give him some optimism.
Sure.
It's about where that ends.
Yeah, I'm not really that hopeful for this one. He has won a 5-on-1 before in a big semi-final.
You tend to be negative even in your hype moments, Henry. I'm trying to lead you to a little more positive.
Cool, let's see how this one works out.
Patch things up with Zeus. Working out so far. He's got Majist. But they are encroaching on his position from literally every angle as they work towards T-spawn as well. Glaive in the open. Guardian's going to find him. That's going to open up the passage if he wanted to wrap back toward the brown halls. It wouldn't go all the way to the site. That's going to be covered off by Dupree. But this gets more and more menacing, and that how spread out they are does mean he can ultimately isolate this. Molotovs to further that possibility. They'll commit to it, and Dupree does stand in the flames to quell the pain any further.
Decent effort by Guardian, 2 frags, could have been 3, but Dupree, brave in the flames, will spray him down with the AK-47 from the Pop Dog. 14-13, now things getting a little bit dicey for the FaZe clan. They've got $3,000 per player. They'll take another tactical timeout, and it's looking likely to be 14-14 here. Astralis not really dropping anything in the last few rounds. They've won 4 out of the previous 5. With this tactical timeout, what's FaZe going to decide to do? I would say another partial buy is in order to get maximum loss bonus into the next round. Again, it is possible to win these ones, but the way Astralis are playing right now, I'm not so sure. I think Device finished the first half on something like 7-8 frags. Let's have a look what he's on to now.
He's improved tremendously as they've had the AWP a little bit more consistently, surprisingly, on this.
He's had
CT side
13 kills in the second half, so yeah, really finding his form here on the CT side.
I go back to when I said this wasn't the start they were looking for. It wasn't against Cloud9 either, and they pulled that off, so they certainly won't give up by any stretch of imagination. That shows.
You haven't beaten Astralis till it reaches number 16. You might have a 14-1 first half, but the job isn't done until you're on the next map. We'll see. Inside play now from Faze. CZ's a P250. They've got a couple of smokes here, but Device is ready. Good grenade towards Kerrigan. Doesn't actually connect. Well spotted though, and a missed shot. There could be a chance here for Faze.
Good find. Device was patient, got it just before the smoke bloom. Bomb still does get planted though for Faze, but follow-up for Device. He's loving it now. There's 2 more to your total, Sank. If you want to continue with your math, that's 15. Make it 16 as he gets Guardian in this half alone. He leads the way, and the bomb to be defused. We finally have a tie game. I said it. They've never had the lead throughout. They've been within 1 round on 2 occasions. Now they're not up. And a late lead's the best lead. If they can close it out, the money is in disarray again. There will be a buy for Faze, but it's certainly the opposite scenario of when they had to win after the timeout. Remember, that timeout is what led to this spree. Get one in return.
Have a look at the final buys. Very, very important round. We're going to be seeing all 30, whatever happens at this point. Guardian does have the AWP. It's a decent buy for Faze, but on the CT side, you've just got to favor them. Guardian and Device going towards that upper ramp. They're going to meet each other here. Who comes out on top? It's going to be Device holding up conservative right now, as Guardian does flash off. Oh, this is such an important pick. If Device can find it, that could win the round, but he bottles it. Can't connect the shot, and he'll have to fall back. That was on a plate almost. Guardian not even looking towards the upper ramp, and he'll have to fall back, and he'll be a little bit gutted with that one. And Dupree taking a nade to the face in towards a pop dog.
They'll get away with it, but it was an essential kill that would have certainly dictated the play from Faze. How do they respond? Extra life as Croman flashes in, potential peek to come out after it. On the other end of that's Device on the AWP, fully blinded, but still not willing to give up entirely. Smoke may change that. Molotov as well, but certainly he's got to move away. He'll smoke in return. That'll give them a little bit of a doubt before committing to pushing that direction. But in doing so, remember, this is bleeding out the CTs bit by bit. So there is still one smoke to work with. Dupree has it. On top of that, there's a number of incendiaries. If they can figure out the choke points fast enough, Ivy's an easy one to cover off with flames. Dupree's smoke is now gone. A-main can be held for the same reason, but there's vision through smoke, or rather, through flames rather than smoke, so it still limits them a little bit. Not sure what Dupree was playing at on that one. Device, though, has made up for the early miss. He's found two, and they'll funnel toward the quad position. If Nico can sneak up fast enough, bomb is down in that direction, but he might be able to catch off Glaive. He's staring in that direction. I highly doubt he gets caught off by it. I thought when he went toward Hicks, they might. They almost line up. They do! A gift for Nico. The second time he's had a lineup, and this one far more impactful as he turns around, but time gone. He's got to stay alive at this point. No plant, no money, and it's map point for Astralis.
Oh my goodness, what a calamity towards the end there. CTs can see the clock running down. They're trying to farm some frags. They lose two, but it's absolutely fine because they make sure one player has no cash whatsoever. That's Nico. We'll see whether anything can be done here. It's map point first for Astralis. They were 10-5 down a half, but Device coming to life here in the second. He really has run away with the game. Multiple frags, time and time again, hitting absolutely everything with that AWP. One of the world's best, showing us how brilliant he is. 8 frags in the first half, Matt. Now he's on 25. As they are one round away from success here. Faze will get together anything they can.
And a bitter defeat if they go down in this fashion.
Carrigan, he'll be left at the CZ. 3 AKs and the AWP. Nico, no grenades whatsoever, and he got no money from the previous round. And we'll see where we go towards overtime. I would say we definitely do, but one of the key players dropped. That's an overzealous play from him. He knows one of the players with a pistol. He has to try and make something happen, but was that the correct call? A solo play towards outside. A devastating grenade makes his way through. Does 50 damage towards Croman and Rain. And at this stage, can they recover? They'll boost behind the server. Glaive doesn't have to fight anymore, though. They've already got the advantage. One more round will do it here on Train.
Dupree swaps to the AK, wants the damage potential. Uses a bit of utility just to get away, but he'll take that as justifiable. As the AK has potential to hit the headshot, doesn't quite do so on Guardian, puts him on 15. Meanwhile, Glaive gets Rain. Kerrigan does respond with a single kill and all of that. But they're a man down, and again, time starts to become a bit more of a factor. 50 seconds. Kerrigan forced off the flames. Thankfully, it wasn't Guardian. 15, he would have been gone at that point.
Well, that's one of the smokes on as well. He didn't want to use it there, and that's the bomb found that. That's going to be it. It's going to be GG. It's the reverse sweep from Astralis there. 10-5 down, and Device comes online and completely decimates Faze. They're going to be stunned by that one, Matt. They had that one. That was their game, and Faze gave it up.
Absolutely. I mean, they looked so composed, Faze, the whole way throughout. I mean, Croman playing great at a number of multi-frags, was winning his duels. Their CT side, again, just barely able to whittle down the economy of Astralis in time. At 6-4, they broke their economy after a run of 4 rounds. That's how closely contested it was. And I thought Faze was dictating the pace. Again, Device looked off in the first half, but you're right, he stepped it up big time on CT side. Timeout was a key as well.
Absolutely. As soon as they take the timeout, it seems to change absolutely everything there. And it just felt like it was such a lock-in for Faze. I thought it was a formality. Okay, they've won one round back here. They're going to get reset. Faze will just close this one out. But they kept grinding. It's never over. Even when you're up 14-8, whatever it is, Astralis are so powerful. We've seen them do it twice down this tournament. 12-3 down against Cloud9, converted to a victory. And they've done it again.
Well, resilience pays off twice for Astralis so far in this event. We'll take a break. We've got potentially 2 more maps coming up. Faze certainly want it to be so.
When do I get given the Dragon Law?
I keep telling you, they're not dropping you a Dragon Law. They're going to drop you the 900,000 Face-It points. Face it, they're going to drop you 900,000 Face-It points, and you can buy a Dragon Law. They're not going to give it to you.
So I get given the item in my inventory.
You get given the
Face-It Mikey's going to trade it over to me, personally.
Not quite. They're going to give you the Face-It points so
sorry,
you can buy it.
Hello? Yeah, no, I'm still with her. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to get the Dragon Law. We'll sell it after that. Yeah, cool. All right, Mum. Love ya. Sorry.
They're not going to give you the Dragon Law, though. They're just going to give you the Face-It points so you can buy the Dragon Law.
In my hands, Kobe throw to me, grab it, Kenny S comes round the corner.
There's no use explaining it to anybody.
He's out of there. I'm on A site. They're rushing me from short and long. I'm coming round the oil. You know I had to do... Yeah.
Let's talk about hubs. Oh, what's a hub, you ask? Think of it as a miniature Face-It, with all of its tools at your disposal. Whether you want to play with your community, run a league for your school, engage with fans while streaming, or create local leagues with prizes, hubs let you do that and much more. Join or create hubs right now on Face-It. Head to Face-It now and discover hubs.
Oh, that was a pretty intense game. Talking about games, we got one right now in the crowd, ladies and gentlemen. It's one game, one question. You got about 5 seconds to answer it. If you get the answer correct, you win yourself an Alienware 15-inch gaming laptop. How you think about that, my bro?
Yeah, that's good.
That's good. You'll be good with that. Okay, so my question is, what was the original lineup of FaZe Clan? 5, 4,
Rin.
3, 2, 1.
Steal.
What? I'm very sorry, my man. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Any last words?
I'll die as I lived.
Fair enough. Sorry, man. I gotta go. I gotta leave you. So the answer to that question, ladies and gentlemen, if anyone was wondering, was what? Rain, AZ. What? Come over there. Nah, you're all right, mate. You're all right. Michael. Pardon? Alu? No, it wasn't Alu, my man. It wasn't Alu. Yeah, Fox, you got it. Anyway, we're moving on. My man, stand up here right now. Okay, so my question is, ECS Season 2, who won the MVP award? 5, 4,
Rain.
3. I'm afraid not, my man. It was Device. Okay, we're going up. You, young man, stand right up. Are you ready for this question?
I'm ready, easy.
Yeah, easy? Easy. Okay, so my next question is, at this event, which player is the oldest? 5, 4, 3,
Existence.
I'm afraid not, my man. It's Smiths, my man. It's Smiths. We're coming up hot now. This man, you step right up. I'm loving the shirt. I hear you're supporting FaZe, I guess. Okay, so my next question is, how many majors has there been? CSGO. 5, 4, 3,
15.
2. Oh, unlucky, my man. It's been 12. Sit back down. One final question. I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you, my man. Step right up. Come right over here. Okay, so, you ready for this?
I hope so.
Okay. What tournament organizer is hosting the next major?
Face it.
Oh, my boy! You got that easy, my man. You've just literally won Alienware 15-inch gaming laptop. Let's hear it for my boy. What's your name, man?
Ben.
Ben? Ben, man. Everyone, round of applause for Ben. Let's go, baby. And back to you, Alex, on the desk. You machine.
I love that boy. Boaster. I used to share a TeamSpeak with him when he was Butter Sprout.
Listen, Alex, all I know is that
hang out with him.
The guy who got asked the original members of FaZe was done dirty on that.
Okay,
was done real dirty.
Listen, they all set up the winner so nicely. That was the best setup.
And he gets this
seen
little
this
layup there right at the end.
I can actually see the chat right now on the stream, just rigged. Don't know how much the dude paid him, but congratulations. And Boaster, if you've got any more questions, I'm up for it. I wouldn't mind a new laptop. You know, I'm down.
I got the MVP question right.
You did, yeah.
I got the major question.
We did try and guess the roster. We didn't do very well.
We were getting there. No, we
had Jacob and Rain, but that was Jacob, Rain, AZ. Who are the other ones?
Michael
Fox and Michael. God, things have changed a long time since then. And this FaZe roster, so close, yet so far. It looks so good. First map, 16-14, a complete barn burner. And I do have, of course, just quick introductions. We have Lurpus and Moses hanging out as we do check out those highlights. And you will see the story of FaZe Clan and their CT side. A 10-5 half. We're looking at 5-4 here. They really accelerated towards the end of that first half.
Thing is, they shouldn't have allowed Astralis to get those early rounds. That's really what allowed them to make the comeback in the second half. They made a couple of early mistakes. One of them we're gonna be showing a clip a little later. That really allowed Astralis to get kind of easy rounds early on just by missing easy shots. I mean, that very unface-like, and that's what wound up costing them in the end.
Yeah. This is an Astralis team where when you're on the CT side against them, you have to put up rounds because their defense is going to be so strong. Like, we need to come up with a name for how powerful this CT side is from Astralis because it's actually unbelievable the way they're able to make the comeback. And they even made a classic mistake on their defense where they were getting so many rounds together. FaZe had no idea what to do. They weren't having any success getting entries. So Astralis maybe just getting bored. They decide to push across the map. They get eliminated. FaZe wins like 3 or 4 rounds off of that. And Astralis still just plants their feet in the ground and then come back and close it out.
Watching their CT setups, it is so brutal. You have Dupree holding Pop Dog like an absolute beast. They're mollying, flashing. Admittedly, Tommy, you said that perhaps he even missed that Molotov, but he was pushing pushing these pop dog aggressors. They have a real nice to and fro. There's this balance of aggression and passiveness. It's very interesting to watch them maneuver around that map.
Yeah, and I mean, their personnel just fit this map so well. I mean, frankly, it's like you couldn't ask for better players to play CT side of train. Yeah, I mean, it's just the perfect. It's like a glove.
I mean, the Zipnix discussion is an interesting one. You know, there aren't many players who are better than him in holding that inside, Jason.
No, there's not. And I think the key to it isn't that he necessarily gets all the kills. He's perfectly fine of just buying time, and he just stays alive, and he allows the rotations to come in, and his teammates will come bail him out of a tough spot. And they obviously have it so well worked out that they know where the rotator, what angle he's going to take when he comes in. So Zipnik knows just right off the bat where he needs to keep his eye on, where it's going to be covered when they come in. But then you go beyond that, and if you're a T-side going against this Astralis team, it's like when you go slow, you get picked off by device. He's going to be very mobile, and he's going to be aggressive. And then when you go fast, like the utility usage is phenomenal from Astralis, and then you've got guys who aren't scared to play behind the smokes whatsoever. You have guys that are setting up perfect crossfires, 2 players at the point of contact. This is such a tough defense to crack that's going to be the main thing. If you're a T-side that can put up 5-6 rounds against them, then you've done your job. And fair play to Faze as well. Yeah, this map fits Astralis very nicely, and they played it very strong, but you can see the idea behind Faze. They got 16-14. This probably should have been a win, considering it was, 14-11, 14-10 at one point. Like, if you're Faze and this is your pick, you're just like, God, we really needed it.
But this is, you know, it sounds silly, but this is typical Astralis, and in the sense that, you know, it doesn't matter what the scoreline is. We saw that their first map of ECS Season 5, what were they down? 11-4 on the half? 12-3? 12-3, and they come back and win that map. They aren't really phased, and they aren't really phased by they aren't really phased by these big deficits. I mean, 14-11, your map pick, you know, this is supposed to go well for you.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, like, if you can just ignore the score that it says at the top of the scoreboard, or actually the side of the scoreboard, to be exact, you know you're playing on the easier side of the map, right? So it's sort of irrelevant whether you lose a couple of rounds early on, or if that happens later. You still know your favorite in every single round individually. Yeah. So all you got to do is just rack them up one at a time. And, you know, if you're Astralis, you tend to get there more often than not.
How many teams have you been in, though, where it's like, oh, guys, it's just another round. Just treat it like another round. It doesn't really work like that. Humans don't really work like that.
Tommy's not human.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
He is a machine.
We have an analyst robot here. He's just got his mechanical fingers on Twitter, like, I hate everybody. Anyway, let's bring up that head-to-head so you can see. And I haven't seen this before.
Last time it was Kanye. Now I hate everybody.
Kanye
what is
hates
going
everybody
on?
and loves everyone at the same time.
No way.
25 frags, 3 assists, exactly the same KD.
Look at the headshot.
You ever seen anything like it?
That's when you know there's 2 hoppers in
no,
play.
That is such stereotypical Guardian. He does seem to find the dome, the tiniest target on a body with his AWP more often than not.
This is actually unbelievable that this is all just that even. And I mean, if you have to be happy with that if you're Faze, because you actually did have Guardian obviously playing well, as you can see here, but then you also had Nico playing well. You had some of the guys step up. Rain had a really good start, kind of cooled off, but you have some of the pieces of the puzzle that you need to take over Astralis. Of what allowed you to beat them in Sydney is those individual performances are looking solid.
Yeah, and talking of individual performances, Tommy, you said you had a demo. Do you want to just quickly set the scene, or we just jump straight in?
I think the score is 5-2 at this point, or 5-1, one or the other in the first half, and start playing the round. It takes a while to set it up there. Okay. We see Zipnix walking down lower through the smoke. Kroman is the CT there on the side of the bomb train. They kind of miss each other. Zipnix gets past him, gets a kill into Guardian, who's rotating back into the inner side from Z with an AWP. Has no chance here. Kroman actually kills Zipnix, but this is 2v2 now. And Carrigan just misses. This guy peeking him had 10 health. Instantly gets killed, misses the kill. Kroman gets the kill on Z. Has to run through a molly just to try to win this round. There's just nothing he can do, and kind of misses shots here too. And then the following round is the one where Nico pushes into brown hole with an AWP. They go for the force buy with double AWPs and 3 CZs or something similar. He misses what looked like it should have been a kill on device, holding inner. They lose that, then they have to double save, and it's 5-4. And those couple easy rounds where, you know, they just missed shots that they just normally don't are what allowed Astralis to build up those 5 rounds in the first half.
Those margins are brutal, like with just the second of missing a player rotating. But it's not even the kill on the Guardian that really caused that round to be a collapse. It's how uncomfortable Carrigan feels when he realizes that his flank is open, that he has no one protecting it anymore. He knows someone's wiggling. And it's like he's just like he's in a position where he should be protected, and all of a sudden it's where do you go? There's no good contingency as in a player in that position because you're getting crunched from three different angles. Excuse me.
Did you get emotional?
I had some cashews earlier.
Yeah? Okay. Well, he's obviously sponsored by the nut industry. I can see how this is working. Yeah. Anyway, though, moving into our second map, it's Inferno, and this is I got it wrong. Excuse me. This is Astralis' pick. This Faze losing their map pick. So now I can't help but feel their fate is sealed. If we wanted that best of 3, if we wanted to see everything that Faze could do to Astralis, surely that would have happened on Train. I mean, this is where Astralis do their best work, Tommy.
Astralis is fantastic on Inferno. I mean, it's such a hard map to play. But what it always comes down to is on the CT side, you just have to have the patience to save if you start losing. You can't keep force buying because you just need the utility. You need the smokes, you need the mollies to slow down the terrorists and getting into those sites. So also that's then the win condition to face when you flip it the other way around. You need to break Astralis' economy on their CT side, and that's the way you can rack up rounds. I don't think Faze is going to get 12 rounds on CT side. I think that's not going to happen. They're not going to get the Cloud9 start, so what they have to do is have an obnoxiously good T side.
Which is something that they have been capable of in the past.
Here's the struggle with it. It's like I mentioned on Train. It's going to be the same kind of beast where you have to be able to apply enough pressure and expose yourself to danger without taking losses to force that Astralis utility out early, because they're gods on this map of saving utility late round. They are not afraid to take fights early on in the round just to save a smoke for that critical moment, and you're exposing yourself at that point to the op of Device, who we know is on fire.
And I have a real kind of a quandary, a question for you that I don't know if you even have the answer for. But so Astralis have proven that they have revolutionized the HE grenade. What previously seen as a rather redundant piece of utility, we're seeing them now average about 50 ADR at a tournament on this map just from those nades. So my question is, you're aware of that, we're aware of that, you're going up against them. If you're on that T side, what's your response to that? Waiting in spawn gives them a lot of map control for free. You know, what's the reaction to that?
There's nothing you can do at this point in the tournament. It all comes down to your preparation. That will be something they had to look at last night, because the way that Astralis has done this is obviously pinpointing portions of the map where there's a choke point, where you don't have obstacles that are going to block the HE damage, and they double nade it. So you have to go research where they are nading, where are their favorite spots to nade.
So you look for safe spots almost.
Mentally, you prepare yourself to say, we cannot stay in these spots for very long. We have to get out of these spots at certain points in the round, and we have to be more aggressive. Like when they take Banana, you can't just stay at the top of that ramp. You can't stay on that ramp. You have to push forward.
But things as silly as this. So for example, when you're playing CT, when you're holding the very common and very powerful angle, looking towards that banana wall, they double nade that. There's a stack nade there. There's no counterplay to that. So suddenly you just don't play it? I mean, that's brutal.
The counter plays, you figure out where they like to nade and what time in the round they want to do it. So, for example, in Banana, when you go there as a terrorist, you just have to go right by it. You can't hold there. You need to get to the end of Banana swiftly from once you enter. It's the same thing in middle. You can't be holding there. You need to, once you actually decide to take over an area, take over a choke point, you have to then go full speed from that point on.
And we are going to go. We're going to go full speed towards our second map. First of all, though, a couple of reminders. Hit us up on social media. Who is taking this one? We have any Faze or Astralis fans? It was a bit of a battle, a bit of a war. We've got Astralis fans here at Wembley. We've got some Faze fans. I think the Danes definitely have won over the London crowd, at least the majority of them. But do let us know on social media, #ECS5. And with that said, it is time to welcome your casters. They're glorious, they're gorgeous, and they're both wearing matching outfits. It's Henry G and Sadakist.
About as matching as we're going to get.
We got blue, that's about...
To be fair, there's been a lot of days when we wake up and we show up and we have the exact same shirt.
In different beds, just to be clear. Didn't work.
Wow.
Sometimes.
But
here it is, map. It's going to be the second map. It's going to be Inferno.
Yeah.
And it's normally the great equalizer, the third map usually in most best of threes, but it's number 2. Astralis have picked it for a very good reason. They are certainly specialists on this one, and you can see them discussing their game plan right now.
Sure, yeah, no question. I mean, stealing that map back from Faze at the end is a huge problem for them in this series. We mentioned that they were probably going to be outnumbered on that map. The fact that they gave themselves a chance is almost heartbreaking, and then they had to win rounds. They got to do it again. Chroman in. There's so many things to talk about on it. We've covered most of them, but Astralis nade damage is a great conversation for them to have on the desk, because this is one of the most predictable choke points you have. Banana. You've got to contest it almost as if it's a mid of most other maps. You've got to have a presence there to hold the CTs at bay, so you can actually start to get some map control to start to force the rotations in your favor, rather than allowing them to anchor it and get one man there and then rotate a fourth over to A, which if they start nading on their CT side, they're going to have trouble doing on the Faze approach. So they've got to definitely be aware of that.
We discussed the utility usage in depth on Train, and this is where Astralis really started to turn heads with those HE grenades. You'll see them in full force on the CT side. The knife rounds can be very important indeed. If Astralis get the CT star here, I would say that's going to be a guaranteed 2-0 for me. If they can flip things around, if Faze get a CT star, I'd say maybe there's a chance to bring it to overpass, but still, things get even more dicey for that. It's a very tactical map. Remember, Faze are here with a stand-in. Astralis, after stealing Faze's pick away, you feel like it's a lock-in for them. Can Faze find anything else, though? That's the question. They had a 5-0 start in the first map. They're going to need that again here on Inferno, because Astralis, especially with the form Device, is showing is going to be almost unstoppable. Ladies and gentlemen, Astralis versus Faze. London's calling. The grand final awaits. And it's going to be Carrigan pushing down towards second middle here, actually committing fully towards Banana. He could find 3 kills here if he plays his cards right. There's the first, nails it. It's actually Guardian, I beg your pardon, is doing that. And it's all over the place. The names here, a little bit confusing. It wasn't just me, was it?
Guardians everywhere.
Wasn't just me.
No, it wasn't. It's fine, Henry. Sometimes it is just you, but it's not me.
Everyone's Guardian. Okay, now we're getting, all right, it's full fine. Everything's under control.
Trust
Calm down,
the kill
Matt.
feed in that occasion. It was Guardian that got the kill. You're not wrong in saying so, but Zipix, meanwhile, will wrap back around. It wasn't his perspective that we saw. That's all Rain. Good shot. Great execution from utilizing the wall at the graveyard. That pulls them toward Chroman. Guardian rotating around, getting first kill. The aggro gone. Chroman easily able to collect it. All 5 stay alive, even Rain, who took the aggro and was tagged down to 3 HP.
Well, there we go. It was Guardian who pushed down towards the Banana. It does make sense. He is the mid player. Went for the very, very aggressive stance there. Got the first kill. Completely discombobulated Astralis. He fell back towards the bomb site, somehow completely safe. And then at that point found 2 more kills, and it will be a lovely start there for Faze, just what they needed, but they've got to negate the force buy. This is not like Train. CZs and Deagles on this sort of map on the T side is actually very viable. It's a lot tighter, and they can group up and completely snowball if they get a trade here at this particular point. Great HE though coming in. You see Majis burning to a crisp. Great utility usage there from Faze as they get the first kill. Only missing out on the second as well. Device down to 37 HP.
Dupree to hold with the CZ. Goes back out, well timed. Guardian thought they might have run all the way back up the stairs as he continued to try and jiggle peek and go wider and wider. Didn't see him. Just as he thought he was gone, he turned around, well timed. It's Rain that has to back away, and Zipix to strike onto him. Gun available if he can get that far. Has to bypass the arch. He's done so before the rotation of Kerrigan arrives. This is incredible. What is going on? Zipix getting that gun, then he's able to control from Moto, turn it around. And it's all on to Nico, 1 versus 4. Has a kit to work with, no utility. If he can find maybe a kill quick enough, he'll give it a go. That's going to be a challenge. Good shot onto Dupree. He's committing, so forget the save of a single gun for the CTs. It goes Astralis' way, and we've got a 1-1 score already.
They steal it right back, even after that initial kill from Faze. The utility usage looked perfect, but Dupree always so solid towards the boiler room, and Zipex had range of that CZ. This makes it look like a rifle almost, and then finishes things off as well. Really fantastic stuff from him, and there will be no 3-0 for Faze after force by themselves here. Exact same weaponry. Deagles and CZ's got a couple of smokes. Dupree, though, with the MAC-10, Glaive with the SMG as well. They're going to try and farm some cash here and get some information. We'll have a look at the armor situation for Faze. You can see not all of them going for the full investment. 3 players of our Kevlar's, just Rain and Guardian. Surprising Guardian would spend the extra cash considering he is the AWPer. He's gone right down to $100. That's really quite problematic. They want him to have as much money as possible. Inferno, another very AWP-centric map. As we get into round number 3 here, back and forth so far. No real damage inflicted, apart from Dupree's been taken down to 58. Nice. Pre-fires the corner there, very common spot for CTs, waiting with a Deagle.
Pretty good depiction of a stack. Jisk still holding out toward mid. Now Gather, they rotate 1 player over at least, so they won't leave 4 toward Banana. That gives some assistance to Rain. Rain's great position, good damage, but couldn't get the headshot. The crouch from Zipix put him just out of range, but Guardian will collect. He's not ready for Glaive to be toward the arch, and neither is Chroman, for that matter. He would have had some awareness based on the previous exchange, but with the weapons, couldn't post and hold to find an angle, and bomb planted. Astralis should be able to control the round. There is a smoke and a CZ for Kerrigan to carry over, so might be beneficial given that they're not going to have any money in the next.
Nice work from Dupree. Clinical shots, and that's going to be the round, of course. Just Nico with Deagle, no armor. Astralis much more efficient on their anti-force buy rounds. And Faze, we're going to have 4 players surviving here. They managed to salvage some upgraded pistols. They've got CZs, Deagles available to them, a little bit of utility, and they don't really need to hunt Nico here, but Device looks like he's got a perfect spot to take him down, and indeed he does with the M4A4. Gets a nice headshot there, goes down to 2 HP. A little bit worrying for him, but plenty of cash here. And now, Matthew, it's going to be the full eco for Faze. They can't purchase anything whatsoever. They'll have to just be default pistols across the board, maybe a P250. if they're feeling brave, but I don't think you'll see much more than the default USPs here. So there it is. It's one of those rounds where FaZe, maybe they could stack B and hope for a B rush or push down middle and see if they can trade out a couple of kills. Looks like Astralis actually going for a focus towards the banana area, using their utility at the very start. No one is there whatsoever, so if they just walk into the site, that's going to be the round concluded. It is a 5-man stack towards A from FaZe.
Inevitable that they had to concede to hold no weapons. FaZe with the pistol. Very much love to have the start that they did on Train, remember. Pushes down the banana, they'll pincer the CT's into mid, who tried to get aggressive and catch them off. A bit of utility expended in doing so, but Zipek's able to hold that on Rain. It's just Nico remaining. And a 1 versus 4. Dupree's low enough that he could be found, but he's not going to be the one to contest. Instead, Glaive goes for the contact at range. The AK obviously going to prevail. Took a bit of time. 3-1, but FaZe in the money again this time.
Game really begins here. What have FaZe got to offer? Historically, always been a little bit up and down on the CT side of Inferno. That B bomb site does have its vulnerabilities. Guardian does not have the AWP. We mentioned that. He forced bot, in my opinion, a little bit too heavily. So he has no AWP, but good news is neither does Device. So it will be Nico, in fact, with the AWP.
Say, yeah, Nico
that is a little bit odd. I wasn't even looking down there. I was assuming Guardian would pick it up.
Well, and so was I. In fact, I pointed it out, but it's Nico that holds this weapon, and we've seen him do it in the site for a long period of time for FaZe on Inferno, and some for better and some for worse. Through the wall onto 12, the nades. Oh man, Astralis is good at throwing them. They even doubled it just to be sure. Blinded as Kerrigan, he has to fall off of it. The AWP's on the ground, and Nico has been caught out in that position time and time again for not getting, if you want to call it DPS, he can't control being overrun by multiple opponents.
Yeah, he is a great AWPer, but he definitely does panic sometimes. If he misses one shot, he just thinks in ahead. If he had a rifle at this point, he'd be finding multiple frags. That's why I criticize. I don't think he's a bad AWPer. It just feels like sometimes he doesn't get as many frags as he could. If he did have the M4, it's still a competitive round here, though. You can see Zipek's left in a 2 versus 1. If he finds his kill towards Banana, that should secure the round. But he's got players coming in from all angles. Is that going to be enough? It looks like it will be. Somehow FaZe pulled that round back. It looked like it was a complete lock-in, but they are going to defuse the bomb, and it will be 3 kills for Rain there. After losing the first 2 frags, that's an incredible retake. Most teams wouldn't even attempt that one, but it all comes crumbling down, and Astralis will have to give that one up. The AWP recovered, and Guardian given it this time, so a very touch-and-go round from FaZe, but they managed to win it courtesy of Rain. Zipex just had to get that 1 kill towards the top of Banana, couldn't do it though, sandwiched in, and there will be 5 AKs once again for Astralis, but lots of reset potential here for FaZe. Flashbang towards the top here, maybe just going to throw it. As soon as they're ready to go, nades in the corner. Damage once again, this time not so devastating for Nico. Back on the M4, does a significant amount of work towards Device there, but he'll be getting away behind the half wall.
Gets away importantly. So FaZe managed to pull that round back. This time they will have Guardian on the ops, so a little bit more traditional and something I'm more fond of seeing. Bit of noise made inside of that boiler position with the posts underneath. If the quad had Rain, you would have heard that, but well-timed flashes. Guardian with barely any vision returned is able to catch off on Dupree, so good trade 1 for 1, leaves the op in position on A. They don't have an anchor inside of the pit, but they've got a crossfire set toward the arch at the very least, and Astralis aren't even going to mess with that yet. In fact, they're almost anticipating a rotation based on that first pick, so they're going to try and challenge Nico. Again, he has the rifle. Single smoke only from a Jisk. Presumably, that goes to CT. Now, with that said, they've got a Molotov as well that they could throw out toward Coffin, so they will cover the 2 choke points, albeit in a different fashion than they might have expected. They tried to flash back in. Kerrigan wanted to go through that smoke so desperately that Glaive not only finds him, but leaves Nico alone and takes him down on entry to allow a bomb plant, this time a 4 versus 2, and it's pretty much done because FaZe are backing out of it. That will confirm it 4-2 for Astralis.
Astralis very aware of the tendencies towards that B bomb site, Kerrigan towards CT. Nico at the shadow position, really didn't work out for them, didn't find a single frag on entry as Astralis just tore them limb from limb. 4 players to survive, and we did say there was reset potential there, but Guardian and Croman holding onto their weaponry. They've got an AK and of course the AWP. Guardian's got 1 kill that so far, but it doesn't look like Astralis will go hunting too much at this point. Just guaranteeing the bomb will be going off as it exits safely through the banana. So not all is lost. Faze with the AWP will have to work a little bit harder, be more assertive at the very start of the round as the Guardian peeks towards the underpass, or goes towards the barrels at the top of B to try and challenge for the first frag. Time will tell, but for now it's 4-2 in favor of Astralis. The second map of the semi-final here. First one went in favor of Astralis. They stole it away. It felt like Faze had it locked in. But here's Glaive getting it done, finding the shots, getting the damage towards that shadow position, finds Nico, and he is such a specialist on Inferno. Glaive really is fantastic this particular map. T or CT, you'll see him post big numbers here. As we get into round number 7, there is going to be partial investment from Faze. You can see 3 pistols to go for the save weapons.
Boost for Guardian. They tried to catch off an angle toward the bottom of middle, but it doesn't work out. It just takes a little bit of damage early on. So you're right, that partial investment in trying to keep those weapons in play.
It's not a forced buy, just to make that clear. It's definitely partial, and Glaive and Device are partial to a few frags, it seems, as they'll take 2. Guardian should be able to hit this shot, but it gives them a position. I would say now, let's get towards that B bomb site right now. Grab the bomb and get away from Guardian as quickly as possible. Nico just spraying that deagle through the smoke. Doesn't connect anything just yet. The smoke buying him a little bit of time, and he does get an AK. So he definitely can defend this at this point. He has got low HP, but his aim is absolutely brutal. You're about to see it right now. Can he find the headshots required to keep the dream alive here?
Desperately, he sprays back instead, and that gives him up. Magiska's able to hold it down. You're right, that smoke was by design. Chroming carried the AK over. Rain at least gets one back on Dupree. And that'll go along to assist Guardian's AWP, so in the next round they'll have a full buy around, presumably those 2 weapons, if they can hold them. That might not be a foregone conclusion as Device rotates back down middle instead. I would say Rain going that far in the corner might be promising, but Device is predicting it. He's walked through, yeah. Okay, didn't quite look that far. I thought maybe he spotted the gun barrel, but straightforward for Rain.
Yep, gets the shot, but Astralis get the round. 2 players to survive once again for Faze. Great shot there from Guardian to find Glaive. This is getting expensive now from Astralis, but they desperately want to take that AWP away. Zipex using the steps to try and find any sort of high ground, but the AWP survives once again. It means Faze still have a chance as we go forward into the next round. 5-2 though, getting a little bit out of control for them on the CT side of Inferno. They won the pistol, remember, and wants the call here. I'd say a tactical timeout certainly should be called at this point for Faze. Not going to do it. And they'll take the full eco around these AK and the AWP. They've got 3 HEs. Presumably those 3 players heading towards B are the ones with it. It's Roman, Nico, and Carrigan there, so they're not going to stack the grenades necessarily. We'll see what comes of it though. And Astralis go for the default once again.
I thought there was going to be some drops out off of those 2 weapons, so I didn't quite get that right. They're willing to hold a little bit longer on the Faze side. Dupree in the hallway. Guardian was ready to fire at the stairwell, but had no idea he was so close. Very, very well done. The shoulder! I was wondering who would react first. They certainly both could see it, but Device gets the kill and gets away as well. Importantly, with the smoke down, so no further damage, no further threat. 2-man advantage, and they can secure the map.
Rain is the last line of defense at the A bomb site. That could be very important. He's in a great position here for a couple of kills. There's the first. Got to control the spray, but it's too wild. Rain only good for 1 kill, and that's going to be 6 rounds now for Astralis, as Carrigan won't be able to do much here at all. Nice gap in the smoke there from Zipex. 4 players survive. Their money's starting to get into a very promising position. $10,000 for Zipex. It's pretty much similar story for the rest of Astralis. Everyone hovering around 8 to 10,000. And they'll have a hefty lead here as Faze still aren't stable. They've got 3 M4s here, Croman with the FAMAS. Guardian still has the AWP, but only 1 kit. Compromises on the utility. And Astralis, they're happy to stay with 5 AKs at this point, Matt. It's working so efficiently. The default's perfect, so why change anything up?
Absolutely, and we know that on Inferno, the T-sided AWP is probably one of the hardest AWP roles to play in any of the maps. In Counter-Strike. I mean, whether it's an angle on Mirage or otherwise, it's much more difficult. Nico does strike this time. Good flash out. They catch off Magisk, and it's the first time they've actually challenged for banana control early on. Device doesn't want to give it up so easily. He'll hold and a flash of his own with that gap. He might have been able to spot Carrigan. Thankfully, he thinks better of it and falls off. It's been a while since we've seen a sustainable early pick, and Glaive's going to take advantage. This is gifted to him. Now, did they hear it, and do they respond? I don't think Guardian has any idea that he's already worked through the arch. This will absolutely catch off the B players. And Faze think that they can rest on this 1-man advantage. They've gone more passive and boosted up. Carrigan is waiting for the smoke to be deployed, but Glaive holds all the cards in this round. He's almost anticipating that with that flash we just saw from a distance and heard deployed that they might start to rotate over early, so he wants to catch that kill first. But Kerrigan's done for. He's looking that way because he's actually avoiding a flash toward Banana, but Glaive's aware of it. That might have caught him off if he didn't anticipate it. We said Nico had good aim from the coffins. Finally, we get a chance to see it, and he'll fall off. Pinched in between the heat of the Inferno, but it's suddenly around going against them, and another nade kill for Astralis. It is absolutely remarkable. Nonetheless, the bomb has dropped Guardian. A crucial kill because now Xyp9x has to confront everyone just to get back toward it, and FaZe will get their third round.
You can see not celebrating too much in the FaZe camp just yet. They've got a lot of work to do here on the CT side. Sure, they win the round, but only 2 players survive. They know how fragile they are at this point. Xyp9x could have won that round, but this is much better. Nico with the aggression at the start to find Magisk, the key player, then gets 2 more from the coffins. Guardian to close things out. If he didn't hit this shot on Xyp9x, it could have got very dicey indeed, but that was the final kill. But still, here's the first time we'll see the orb for Device. He's waiting for Guardian to go hunting for a bit of intel at the start. Maybe he's got too comfortable with the fact that Device isn't orbing. Not going to be the case though. Guardian, too smart, knows that with that round 1, Device could be changing things up. Just to know Croman's on the shotgun now. They have got 3 kits. Slower approach here. Not so much manpower thrown towards B at the start from Astralis, but the bomb is there. That's on the back of Glaive right now. Guardian, not such an aggressive angle, holding in a traditional arch place, just making sure he can patrol middle. Get flashed off though. This looks a little bit dangerous for them, but he will fall back.
Good nade, bounced. Ouch. Finally, they return one. Taste their own medicine for Magisk. He goes down to 20. You're right in saying that Device was anticipating Guardian. He'd gone for that pick previously with the boost on the alternative side of mid, which was where Device was looking. Unfortunate that he doesn't gather that kill, but they can still try and utilize the AWP to get toward this side. They know where that doorway is. It's not impossible to line it up, but they're walking straight down the middle of the lane because it's more likely they'll be hugging a wall, and that's what Guardian was hoping for and spamming through. This shotgun is in the right position at the right time, and he just barely gets away with it. Xyp9x could have capitalized on that. Somehow only hits him for 54 damage. As Rain still waits under quad. They haven't detected it. Smoke down means, but just can't see it right away either, so he does get the trade. He's low on HP, and that's going to be all too easy for Guardian, and it's back-to-back rounds for FaZe.
Just what they needed as well. Had to avoid that reset. You can see them getting slightly more fired up now on the screen. 2 rounds in a row, but still a lot more to do. Money actually it's a good position still for Astralis. They're certainly getting to the point where this could be their final buy. They will have the AKs and armor once again with all the utility required. Round number 11. Must-win map for FaZe. The final map, though, is Overpass. With a standard, I'm not sure they'll stand a chance against Astralis on it, but this is what we'll focus on right now. Guardian misses out the timing. So frustrating for him. The second he moves away is when a player comes out with a knife on his screen. It remains a 5-on-5 for now. 1 minute 30, very early on in this round. Molotov towards the corner to push anyone back. Has to stop Nico, especially. Stop him running around the corner and finding them while they're blind. Guardian still in his usual spot as he smokes towards middle.
Dupree has been tasked in the default toward, so too is Xyp9x to be fair, toward Boiler. One with the hall, one with the doorway. Kerrigan's going to get the early pick again toward Banana, and that's exactly what FaZe need. Same way they won, or started this streak of rounds. I call it a streak, it's 2, but how they won the previous one. Roman flashed out, can't capitalize, but a second chance. Just a step too far, Glaive's able to respond. He wasn't ready for it. Rain wants to keep himself inside of the pit, self-preservation, and that smoke actually serves to extinguish 2 Molotovs. Guardian gets 1 before going down, but Rain falling first without a single kill, and that picture shows it all. It's a wide open bomb site for Astralis, and a default plant, and good positions to cover it off as well.
Kerrigan and Nico on the retake here. They've got diffuse kits available, but smoked out for now. It's going to buy Astralis so much time. What's the play here? Nico trying to make something happen. Kerrigan to steal the MWP away. I think he's just going to call at this point. It's not possible. It's such a difficult procedure. When the bomb's already planted, you've got a man disadvantage. And a team like Astralis, they're not going to give this round up for free. I think this is the correct call. You can see the money is extremely low for 2 players there, Rain and Nico. Nico will survive Kerrigan to bring over that orb, so it'll allow them to buy into the next round, but here's Nico just making sure that no one survives. He's going to throw that incendiary right in the pit. It is a bit of a classic at this point, and Xyp9x will get punished for it. So nice work from Nico there, just to get that final frag. Let's make it expensive. Every kill counts in Counter-Strike, and we'll see whether they want to force up around it. I would say they would. They need to start finding a lot more rounds here. So they will invest of everything they can. Indeed, the UMPs are coming out. Will we see a shotgun again from Croman? Perhaps not this round. He'll be given an M4. Guardian with the salvage AWP. Lose this round and this could be an 11-4 half. This is a lot of pressure towards Faze, and they certainly have the disadvantage when it comes to the weaponry. Faster approach once again towards B.
Kerrigan waiting patiently, and Nico already out. He wants to flash Nico. They've gotten the pick sustainably early. Oh, in this position of previous rounds, double flash, and he's walked out. Nico only gets one in that, surprisingly. They were all blind, and he was so close, but I think even he was caught off by it.
So technically, that's actually advantage to Astralis now. Sure, it's a 4 versus 4, but if you think about it logically, CTs with the defense are often against terrorists who can group up as a 4-man unit. If you lose even one player, 4 versus 4, it can be a 4 versus 1 in particular choke points on the map. So definitely a benefit there for the Danes as they start to group up. They are just going to continue with the default for now. A minute remaining, seeing if there's any sort of reaction from the CTs. They've pulled Guardian over towards the B bomb site, and here comes the actual reaction as Kerrigan ready and waiting to be pushing around the corner. If Guardian pulls the trigger, he's going to try and spray them down with the UMP.
Guardian has the lineup. Oh, if he fired now.
He's trying to bait them out. He fires the UMP off first, so they get a little bit antsy. Did you see what they did there? Didn't
clever.
work out for them, but Majisk certainly going to be wiping his brow after that one, thinking that was Guardian on the other side, and they baited me out. So that's quite clever, but it really didn't work.
Yeah, Guardian's going to be kicking himself rather than just the Regis perspective on that. That goes both ways. Rain's going to work back in early. Flash out, needs to get towards Croman. He can hold that corner all he wants, but he's a sitting target. Might be able to get away with it, though. Dupree walks in and shows his position, but this is exactly the point. It's a one and done. Somehow Croman gets more than one. In fact, he gets 2.5 because he does a massive amount of damage onto Glaive as well. They'll plant the bomb, and this gives Kerrigan an absolute chance. The problem almost is that he has the AWP because their low enough rifle would do.
Kerrigan, though, in these big games, he might not be the star player of this squad, but he can win these clutches. Not going to happen this time, though. Zipex, aggressive, of course, facing towards the quad, will take him down. Matt, I did say if they Faze gave that round away, this could be the 11-4 half on the CT side. This is double eco territory now. They've got $2,000 per player. They'll get 1,900 in the next round, so it'll be a really weak buy if they're going to buy round number 14. They have to take the full eco here, or just force buy and to see what they can do with SMGs. Looks like they'll just take 1 PT50, nothing else purchased. Pretty much perfect game from Astralis so far. Remember, they lost the pistol, and they're 8-4 up here. The map advantage looking to meet Liquid in the grand finals here. And Zipex will confirm they are eco with the aggressive push of the USP there in the bedroom.
Zipex is seemingly prepared for that. Falls back down toward the side of apartments. And aggression could easily swing back out from the boiler doorway. Dupree gets the reload in time because he could have been caught off by that. Thankfully, he's also got Majisk nearby. He'll find the first. So 9 rounds Astralis, looking likely. Not guaranteed, but looking likely on the T side. And Faze certainly gave their chance away on Train. To work for it the hard way on Inferno. The good news is they've got the best T-side offer, arguably in the game, the Guardian, but that's going to be a problem when they get there. They can even get the money up as Astralis walks in once more. It's Nico and Kerrigan to go down, and Croman on rotation will be the first to arrive, but perhaps that just means the first to die in this situation. Take it back, they got Guardian first, Henry.
That's true. A small footnote of that particular round, but it will be round number 14 here. And so the money still okay, like I said, we'll have about $4,000 per player. Guardian with a little bit more, so they have to go for the M4 and the Kevlar. No helmets and bare bones utility, so we'll see what they can do with this one. Guardian, I really would like to see him step up. We'll see how many frags he's got so far. He's in 12, but his team really do need him to start going to town here on Inferno. No one really running away with the game on the Astralis side is Glaive. Like I said, having Inferno specialist with 12 kills. Zipex with 10, having a fantastic game. On the other side, it's Kerrigan, 2 frags, 10 deaths. Nico mid-table, 7 and 10.
Straightforward for Device, not an easy angle to find. Croman could not land the shot. But don't forget about Guardian, he opened this up.
Smoked out now.
Exactly, excuse me, smoked off. But he still has that AWP, and more importantly, they've got a decent position in Rain. They've not checked this. Now, the one problem for Rain is that if they do work up toward middle, he relies on Guardians to protect him. How does Device even predict and find that?
He jumped up very slightly behind the broken wall position. I think he spotted his feet, but still an amazing shot with low HP as well. That should guarantee the round 4 versus 3, but FaZe can't afford to save anymore, man. They need to be going for these rounds. But look at Glaive, this is so smart from him. They don't even need to plan at this point. Wait for him to cause an entry. If he can come in the back lines and find a frag, that's going to guarantee things. 45 seconds now. Glaive starting to sneak his way in as the smoke is deployed. Here he comes, but Nico, somehow they're not watching quad. This could be a bit of a nightmare now.
That's the bomb. Nightmare, absolutely. There's no question they could pull that back. Nico smoked it off, but Glaive sneaks out. Kerrigan had no idea, and Nico was watching that bomb as closely as he can, but that's predicted. Xyp9x gets an angle above them. Guardian suddenly has to go hunting, and he's quick as ever, but he's found out by Device. 3 kills in the round for the T-sided op, and that was an awkward round.
Yeah, it was looking like Astralis had full control of it, but they weren't watching the quad. The bomb goes down as it drops down from the apartments, and it got very dicey indeed. So you can see that was the jump right there. He spotted like the shin pads of Rain up there on towards the quad, and he does nail the shot, so very well done. Device is an absolute animal today as he keeps finding frags of that AWP. Round number 15 here, and I have to say, FaZe go for the Hail Mary play, Matt. SMG's rushing down middle. Device defend them off, and they're not finding any frags so far. He's going to pick up the AK-47, going for the spray down, not going to work out for them. This could be the round for FaZe to find number 5, but Dupree will find one back in return.
Oh, good find from Chrome, and he was on 5 HP, and they were slowly being circled and recovered from Astralis. That's all falling apart at Xyp9x versus 3. 11 kills so far. He's got a full arsenal of utility. He's got armor, obviously, as they've been so successful.
Should have been doing this every round. SMGs, rush middle.
Yeah, why not?
That's the formula.
Well, Bomb is down toward T-spawn, and Rain is the one to guard it. They won't go all in on that. They certainly are aware of Xyp9x's position, and they'll rotate accordingly and behind toward A. In fact, they don't even care for the bomb at this point. Rain just wants to get out. He knows he was isolated. It's going to buy them time, too, because Xyp9x saw the Molotov land in that position, so he's expecting him to be around at some, or in some corner. Bench will be obvious to check. Could be up above, still in the kitchen. And in checking all of this, in a 1 versus 3, it's massive for FaZe because it's eating up the clock.
30 seconds remaining. Clock definitely a factor. It's Kerrigan alone towards B, and that's where Xyp9x is going to start heading now. Rain holding second middle. They're going to allow Croman to rotate over, but will he be there in time? Xyp9x has the smoke, the Molotov. Pretty much everything he needs to make this round a possibility. Throws that smoke in, hope it baits out a reaction towards Banana. Still 10 seconds remaining. I don't think he stands a chance at this point. He's very good in these rounds, but how does he even plant? That pretty much confirms the round in my book. He's not going to be winning it. Good effort, but couldn't find the frags. Can't even plant at this point. There's 1 kill, hoping to find both of them here. So that's going to be it. FaZe somehow get the 5th round on the board with MP9s. Rushing down towards middle. Not an ideal half, but not the worst thing that could have happened to them. 5 rounds. Certainly not ideal, but all they have to do is win the pistol in the second half, grind it out, destroy the bank accounts of Astralis, and they can get back into it. They're definitely skilled enough to still win this game.
Yeah, economy management going to be everything. The 5th round is crucial for them. And I mentioned it, Guardian, if he can get the op rolling, if they can get that early and late. Remember, they won the pistol this half, but they got eco'd immediately after by a very aggressive round, I have to say, from Astralis. Took kills, I think 3 kills before we were even 30 seconds in, and that's impressive with pistols.
If Astralis can win this, it could be 13-5. Xyp9x will be tested first. HE to block the vision and do any damage to aggressive CTs there. But Glaive with the CZ, he can spray them all down. That's a ton of damage, but can't find the frag just yet. Xyp9x dropped, and this is looking very good for FaZe now.
The fact that Glaive got out, I was thinking was brilliant, but the shot subsequently toward Nubox and the smoke that's down gives the plant away, and Rain's gone aggressive inside of the chapel, finds a kill. All of that happening. It's the rotation from mid that becomes the bigger factor, because now they've got to lock the C's in, which means FaZe are going to fight aggressively, and rightfully so. That's a huge position to take. They completely surround the Magisk, and he's got nowhere to go except toward Guardian, and Dupree will do the same. No kits on either of the players remaining. And it's in behind. Oh, that's awkward. Just barely gets it. He's got to get a reload in, and he doesn't have a lot of time to do it.
Yeah, it doesn't know this is possible. Well done to FaZe. The B rush with the nade at the top has found success here. Croman and Rain playing smart, but this still could get a little bit problematic. I think the bomb's far too gone. You're absolutely right. So he'll go down. All 10 players do, in fact. It's chaotic rounds. Certainly not as clean as FaZe would like there, but still, they get the result they need. And we'll see that being converted to 10-6 now. Remember, Astralis if you're asking me, if I was a coach, I'm saying take the full eco there. You do not need to force buy. Let's get some CZ, sure, maybe some Deagles, but you don't need armor, don't need utility. You've got this lead so far. They're going to spend quite a lot, 2 players with the Deagle armor combo, but pretty modest as the B rush comes in. This is such a dicey call from Faze. Why you would just rush B on these sort of rounds, I couldn't tell you. There's no real logic behind it. You don't know if you're running to a 5-man stack. You've already eaten 3 grenades there.
Wow. Yeah, exactly that. If Astralis are so efficient with nades, we said banana, that's like the most predictable place to throw them, and they run toward it. Maybe that 15th round, Henry, maybe that did get to them a little bit too much. They wanted to try it again. They'll swap guns around according to HP, and rightfully so. Still lead Kerrigan with the UMP rather than one of the AKs, but Nico and Guardian, sure. I won't fault them for that.
Aegis position here. This is falling apart. Faze with a real horrible call, I hate to say that, but rushing B on these sort of rounds against one of the world's best team who are nade specialists, and it's a very common strategy in today's meta just to stack B with the CZs. I think that's a real misplay, but still, we continue. In the 5 versus 3, the graphics a little bit off. It's 5 versus 3 right now, but Guardian and Rain pulling it back. You've got a bit of a GUI problem here, so I'll try and keep you updated. Now 3 versus 3 as they go back towards A. This is looking so good for Astralis, but Faze are pulling it back.
Rotations for the 3 still alive. Magisk has the Deagle. And smoke is sufficient, you're right, but they're still coming with grace, with speed. Bomb down again, recovered by Guardian. That'll allow the plant devices nowhere near.
There we go, we're all updated now. 2 versus 1. Should be round recovered here. Faze doing a great job to somehow get back into the 5 versus 3. And device, no armor, no kit, no nades.
Surprised Guardian didn't stay in the train with them. If you're down, 3-3 is fine, but if you're down on weapons, get that damage potentially. Still going to give it a go. CZ certainly could take down Guardian in the back of the site. He's hoping in holding that corner that Kerrigan will get to him first. Either way, the crossfire works. That would have been, we always say if you win both pistols and lose the map, something went terribly wrong. That would have been winning both pistols and then losing both subsequent eco, or anti-ecos, I suppose, from their perspective. That would have been remarkable.
Well, they keep their head above water for now. Should be the full eco of Astralis. So Faze have got themselves back in this game. On the T side, this isn't too problematic, losing 3 kills there. Money is a little bit easier to manage. So, USPs, 1P250, should be 10 to 8 here. And we might see all 30 rounds again if you are just joining us. It's a pretty epic affair on train. We'll see the 2 MAC-10s here of Faze. Finding money, $600 per kill with that particular weapon. And it's a slow default. You can see how tentative Faze are here. This is when they can rush B against the USPs. It's against that force buy in the second round. You really don't want to run into the lion's den, but either way, we will see round number 18 come to his logical conclusion momentarily. It's the question as to whether Astralis get a couple of kills. That's pretty much as good as it will get for them.
Molotov into Cubby. That covered off, so too with Liarchby with the smoke. Taking no chances this time with utility and slowing things down. Additional smoke deployed toward Library. Rain leads the way with the MAC-10 as it should be. He'll spot 2. Decent shot from Kerrigan. I was going to say there's still a chance the players in the corner could get away with a few kills, but that's not even going to happen. Good read from Faze and good find. Just Dupree. We go 10 to 8.
Dupree. They did find 1 kill here, so not all is lost. They took Rain down, but that was one of the MAC-10s, so hardly a high-value target there. They're not going to save the weapon either. Dupree hoping for some mistakes here. If anyone goes exploring towards the library, hoping to give them much more than a book, as he'll be finding headshots at least. There's damage towards Guardian, but not going to find a killing blow. So Faze, indeed, right back in the game here. As I said, a 10-5 scoreline. We lose the pistol, you ultimately looking at 13-5, so done a great job to win the initial round and then convert the 3-0. 10 to 8 overall now, and we'll see the AWP up for Device, but money's still not ideal. He's not got armor, just 1 flashbang. Let's see if they can do anything here with the first gun round. 10 silver chromen, but that's fine. You can see 2 players without helmets and Device without any armor whatsoever as they go for the triple nade setup. Oh, they fluffed it. Did they hit each other?
Yeah.
Oh, it was off the wall, it was off the corner.
But I think they hit each other as he was throwing it, rather than the nade hitting the body.
Well, there we go. I don't think anyone's there to receive it anyway, so no harm, no foul.
Yeah, I suppose. Flash is perfect, though. Device can't get the AWP in position, and Dupree, he's good for 1, that's it. At least Device recovers. He's still in transition and caught out by Kerrigan. He never went to library. He's relying on Magisk to hold the back lines of the site. He's done a decent job of that, all things considered, but it is the bomb site to Faze. Despite the Guardians on 6 HP, it's planted well before the arrival of Xyp9x, who is smoked off when he walks out as it is, so they'll work together. In fact, I think they're going to go for the boost. This could yield them Kerrigan's position if he's careless and opens up to it as the smoke dissipates, especially because that would mean that it slowly falls off the bloom. That second smoke is brilliant. It actually works out to allow Xyp9x much deeper, and he spotted Kerrigan just in time. Guardian never had a chance. And the defuse starts now.
Really like that call from Faze, actually, when you know the CTs are force ball in the second round. First gun round turns up, they haven't got incendiaries. They might not even have the AWP. You've still got a MAC-10. You want to be getting in there hard and fast, and they did exactly that. They were trading facts very efficiently. 2 versus 2 in that sort of scenario. They actually had the upper hand, but a great boost. They didn't get the kill from the boost, but they did see the Molotov thrown. It gave away Kerrigan's position at that point, and that's when you saw them struck. As soon as they saw he was isolated on the site, push that smoke and find the first kill on Kerrigan, left Guardian and pretty much an impossible 2 versus 1. He had 8 HP, and that's going to be the round slipping against them. But still, that was a bit of a bonus round for them, remember. A MAC-10 there. Now they've got the AWP for Guardian, 4 AKs, all the utility, but Kerrigan's burning there, taking way too much damage as he goes down to 55 points of health.
Rain already inside of the window. Device on the wall. Presumably, and it's starting to be the case, you'll see Xyp9x fall off of that to play support instead. Glaive flashed out mid. There was one at the bench, but they won't spot that. It's unfortunate for Croman. Almost his own gun model, prohibiting vision, I think, of where Magisk was playing down below on the the hay bales. Seen too many contests toward Boiler Door so far in this game. A lot of utility used in that position to try and push people off of it, but not too many exchanges. Device was up there the whole time and waited, but he has to back off now, and Nico gets much, much closer. Nade thrown his direction, and they have to play passive, which means they have to commit to a 3-2. Game of inches at this point. Literally utility to try and open up Guardian. Fast on the trigger, but not the accuracy, just barely off on Glaive, who knows he doesn't want to repeat the AWP. He tries to play the off angle, shots baited out. He wants into them. He wants to capitalize, and he does perfectly. Timing is everything. Down goes Guardian and Rain. It's Dupree to hold off the bomb. It's dropped, and round over, it's 12 Astralis.
You can see why Astralis are considered the best team in the world. The communication, the synergy, every angle is covered perfectly. Glaive, we said he would be good on Inferno, but this was something quite special. He buys them so much time, spots 2, baits out shots, utility, and as soon as they throw that smoke, he sees the opportunity to go for the spray down. They've got no time to waste. He gets both of them and saves the round. As the tactical pause is called by Faze now, they're now down 12-8. They've got $2,000 per player, and things starting to get a little bit tough for them over on that side of the server. Really great stuff from Astralis. And Faze presumably have to take the eco here. Maybe the Eagles, no armor. Can't really justify a force or much more than just an upgraded pistol. Wouldn't even call this a partial. This will be a full-on eco. In terms of loss bonus, there'll be a 3rd stage next round. That means they get $2,400 per player. On top of the 2K they have right now, can't really afford much else, and maybe a P250. So we'll have a look at the overall complexion of it. So 2 Desert Eagles, 1 P250, 2 Glocks, pretty much as we anticipated there. So no utility, and the triple nades towards Banana once again. I don't think they'll find any damage. Everyone's so coy to even get in towards that position anymore against Astralis.
Twice again to check that half wall. Positions wide this time for anyone working out late from the T-stairs. In fact, with him positioned to hold, I don't think Xyp9x might have gone all the way. They certainly know no one's there. Now that's beneficial in itself, going against these pistols. If no one's toward the T-stairs, they haven't seen it cross, now they do. You could presume that they're going to be toward the apartments, toward Boiler, and trying to close the distance on the pistol. So they'll position themselves in accordance with that. Glaive doesn't have a bait and switch potential yet, and I say yet because just now Xyp9x will get in library, and the timing again is everything for Glaive. 2 more kills for him. Dupree goes back and spots out apartments. Another straightforward round. Astralis rolling now.
13-8. That was the eco, and now Faze are the ones on the chase. Astralis managed to come back from the deficit on the first map in a 16-14 epic affair. Faze on the T side of Inferno, is it even possible? They don't have the same tactical depth they usually have. Remember, they are playing with a stand-in here. Croman, a very skilled player, but still they haven't been able to find a lot of practice with him. Inferno against Astralis is difficult at the best of times, and with a stand-in it might be now an impossible. We'll see what they can do here. 4 AKs in the AWP for Guardian, who is an absolute specialist on the T side. Oh my goodness, Nico, be careful. That might not be a peek you want to take. Oh, it's Device though. Narrowly misses out on the shot, and this Guardian's capitalized. Oh my God, what is that? The close range, quick scope from Device to equalize things to a 4-on-4.
It's a railgun. Boom, stuck to the wall. It still is, as you say, though, the 4-on-4, both ops with the kills, and that opens up a bit, I say, to the offense, but not if Zipix wants to get aggressive. Palm down as well, nearly transferred to find the third, but Guardian having none of it. He's got a lot of work to do.
Wow, Guardian really keeping them alive in this round, hitting some magnificent shots, but Glaive continuing to apply the pressure. Throws a flashbang just to fall back here. He's still, in terms of utility, Glaive actually has nothing. It's Magisk with a smoke and 2 HEs with Device and Magisk. 3 versus 2. Croman, 9 HP, but they have got time on their side, and indeed the bomb.
They will not relinquish position in pit. They know how integral that is to the round, which does mean there's going to be only 2 toward B. I think that one, they've rotated off, but Device is on his own. The nade, it does it, of course.
This guy, he's something special, isn't he? When he's on form, a map like Inferno, not many people can kill him. Every position is just absolutely spot on. He knows their tendencies. He knows how to go for these first picks. Misses the first shot, but my God, does he make up for it with the second. Completely carries the round at this point. What a great push from Zipix as well. 2 kills found, completely destroys any sort of offensive strategy they had as Device finishes things off with the HE grenade. What a guy. 14-8, pistols are coming out. We're getting closer and closer to series point here. Device looking for more kills. You can hear players towards second middle. Drops the incendiary. That's going to do a lot of damage. The HE to follow it up as well. Look at what he's done as Dupree starts to spray them down. More utility damage coming in as well. They haven't even seen a player yet, and they're all half HP. Flashbangs coming in, and this could be series point. It's looking very comfortable so far from Astralis, and Guardian is the last player remaining. It's a clean sweep, as now Faze needs 7 rounds in a row just to meet overtime.
Big kills from Magisk as well, as Dupree was getting locked in the pit, and they were slowly taking away all of his angles. So Astralis looking to book a date in the final. Don't forget, Liquid is already there.
Yes,
it's getting to be another little rivalry between NRG and Liquid. Twice at Star Ladder, told to stay humble, and then came back to beat Liquid to make the finals.
Yeah, Liquid are a great team, and it should be a fantastic final. Saying that's if Astralis make it. There is still a chance. Faze can do it. However unlikely at this point. Astralis just look too powerful though, in my opinion. Way too efficient here as they change the setup again. Magisk at the end of the apartments. Croman, if he challenges this, he could be absolutely done for. Going to be throwing the flashbang around the corner. Nico with the first frag. That's Zipix going down, but this is the interaction we're really worried about. CT's putting a lot of pressure here. Magisk close range. Can't get a shot though. Device certainly can.
Good find. Dupree gets back up the stairs and immediately responds. It's slowly falling apart. I say that though, it's only a 1-man advantage and 1 man to defend the B site alone. So if Faze can do this, never mind. Fast enough, I was going to say they can get that bomb down and pull it off. It is just Guardian. Good start. Knows that Glaive was rotating, and smartly Glaive immediately stops in doing so. And knows that he has to wait for his teammate to get to B. Quick tap from Guardian, presuming perhaps that he is still close by. Problem in doing that, it's great, but if he commits to the plant, his chances actually go up. Little does he know, because he's now allowed that rotation to get much closer. He wants to play this. 45 seconds, he'll take the duel, and Guardian chasing Glaive, walking the whole time.
He could book it
to almost get. You're right, actually, that's a good point, because he almost walked back out to where Device is. He could just run this. As well.
This is the only way he can win the round. Here we go. Off towards the A side. There is a chance now for Guardian. No one waiting there whatsoever. 20 seconds remain and the CT start to realize, but he didn't commit. He didn't go around towards quad. This could cost him the round, but Device, will he hit the shot? Oh my God, it's coming down to the last few seconds, and Device closes it out with the AK.
Unbelievable. He did everything right until he couldn't land the shots. That's the most frustrating moment, I think, for Device in this game. There's been a few, to be fair. But with that, Astralis Took them a bit of time to get rolling on train. We'll go straight into the finals, and they've got some fans.
They've got some good fans.
You should be down there, Henry.
I'll do it. I'll come down there and celebrate in a moment. That was fantastic. That's a real masterclass in Counter-Strike. We do have to reiterate one more time. Commiseration to FaZe. Played a great game. They're playing with the stand-in. Kroban, fantastic player. Any orgs out there looking to find a real solid set of hands, he's your man. He's going to be a big name in 2019.
Yeah, he was solid when he was within the Dignitas lineup with Ravino. I thought he was impressive. He didn't stand out to me, per se. As Astralis salute the crowd. But he is definitely a name to take note of. He might get another chance to salute this crowd in an emphatic fashion a little bit later on when they play against Liquid, and that won't be an easy match. Liquid looks sharp this event.
They certainly do. They're going to be a real difficult team to topple, but Astralis in this sort of form, they could do it, Matt. They're coming back from these huge deficits. It doesn't seem to faze them. They don't seem to have that crumble moniker attached to them anymore. They come back from any sort of difficult situation.
Well, and you've got to look into a couple things about that. First and foremost, you're eventually going to overcome that as a team, but secondly, sports psychology. They were the first team to go toward that, and it almost, and this is where I actually think that that's worked, is not so much that they don't choke anymore, but they're actually the team that's coming from behind and winning games, which that would have never have happened before. It's completely the opposite approach to it.
Yeah, I'm absolutely gobsmacked with some of the things Device is doing there. Like we said on Train, he got like 6-7 frags in the first half, comes back, drops 20 more in the second. This guy is just playing on another level right now.
Yep.
This is why they're winning so many championships. Everyone's firing at maximum capacity, and it's a great spectacle.
Everyone's got Simple out in the lead sort of so far for candidate for top player of the year. If Astralis can continue this form, Device is right there at number 2 and nipping at his heels depending on who starts to win more, and if Na'Vi can make it to finals, we're going to see that start to be a head-to-head matchup towards semis and finals more regularly.
Absolutely. Na'Vi now in the top 3. They're starting to win tournaments at this point, consistently making finals, seem to getting it together as a squad.
Yes,
There's lots of storylines. We had a really weird start of 2018 with CSGO, but it seems like it's kind of stabilizing now. We're seeing who are the front runners, who are going to be the teams to watch. Still a few question marks around FaZe, of course, but still, they're consistently making semi-finals.
Yeah, and it is exciting to see that teams are starting to return to that form. I think problems in 2017 was, again, a big calendar. It was very full. It still is. Sure. Teams are starting to identify that they have to do less events, which is better for the practice schedule. Astralis is one of them.
They've done lots of that. They've actually stood back from events, and you can see how beneficial the practice is.
Yes, and more teams might start to look at that model as a means of approach. But on top of that as well, you have to consider that you came off of an era where you had Fnatic dominating for a period of time towards 2015. SK had their run of form. It wasn't as dominant, but I think a lot of teams were trying to recover from that, and a lot of roster changes as a result, so it's finally stabilizing.
Well, that's all from us, London. You've been absolutely beautiful. We're going to leave you at Parla now with the winners interview. Over to you.
Everybody in the room, please raise the roof for Astralis, who have made it to the grand final. Glaive, that must feel good.
It feels amazing, I must say. This is one of the best crowds I've ever had, and somebody knows why and somebody doesn't know why, but this is amazing. Thank you, guys.
Well, Glaive, this is just the crowd for the semis. What do you think they're going to be like in the grand finals?
The grand final is going to be really crazy. We played Liquid before, we played them again, and we really just want to lift that trophy one more time. Let's go.
This is 2 series in a row with history and teams that you've played against and have a rivalry with. You've beaten FaZe, now going up against Liquid, again a team that you've been playing a lot recently. What does that mean?
Yeah, Liquid is a really good team. We know how they play, they know how we play, so it's going to be like kind of a mind game, but still, I think we got a really good strat book on all maps, so I think we'll go to figure it out.
Glaive, I'm sure you do. Would you like to add anything else before I let you go?
I want to say thank you to my brother and his friends down there. I want to say thank you to the Danish corner over here. It's amazing support, guys. Thank you.
All right, everybody, we've got the Danish corner, we've got Glaive's family here, and we have the rest of you as well, cheering along for what was a fantastic semi-final. And up next, oh boy, it is the grand final. Do not go anywhere, let's head back to the desk.
Oh yes, thank you, Parla. It couldn't work out any better. I was actually sitting next to them. They are loud, that Danish corner. Actually, there's 2. I think some Danes found each other halfway through the match. I just heard someone say something loud in Danish, and then 4 people turned around and went something loud in Danish. It was quite a lovely little romantic experience as they discovered they'd all flown here.
It's always cute how that works. It's a small world, isn't it, Alan?
It is a small world. And
very
some
romantic.
die-hard fans. Glaive definitely going to be trying to do that one for them as well as his roster. But I do have Tommy and Jason joining me. And I think it's an intriguing conversation to be had now because we knew FaZe were going to be up against it, but we did get to see it again consistent Astralis sexy Counter-Strike. It doesn't seem to stop. There's never a lapse.
I mean, that's their brand, right? They're very consistent, very methodical in the way they play. They don't make a lot of mistakes. They force you to just beat them at your game. They're not going to lose to themselves. Yeah. They used to, which is something that they also just mentioned.
Yeah,
Hank and Matt were saying. But, you know, that's not the Astralis of 2018. Wasn't even the Astralis of 2017.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the problem. They're just one of those teams that can just grind you down, even if you're going on a run, even if you've won 5 straight. They're relentless in how they attack, and they have a plan for every single round and every single piece of utility that they have, so it's just so difficult to get past them and overcome them. And I mean, really, you could say, to a certain degree, this match was kind of lost in that first half. We mentioned how good the Astralis defense is. If they put up 10 rounds on their T side, switching over to that, like, you just don't have a chance. There's just nothing you can really do, because you're not going to be able to come back on the T side.
Not only do you not have a chance, but I mean, the way the rounds were going, it's like every minor thing always went against Faze. And I like the way Guardian missed that last kill, and he was by far their best performer on that map, by the way. He was easily their best player in Inferno.
Yeah, he played it so well.
That really just summed it up. He played it so well, but then something still went wrong, and that, you know, that really sums up how a lot of the rounds just, you know, fell apart at some point.
Yeah, you do hate to see it. And we mentioned in the first map, it was Guardian and Nico were both having good games. Nico was a little bit quiet on this second one, and to overcome the fact that you have Chrome. And I mean, we do have to say, I'm glad that Matt and Henry brought it up and just said, you know, you have to give them props for how well they played with the stand-in. Yeah. Someone just coming into this and still making a top 4, still having a challenging first map, still having, you know, I guess not necessarily a chance on the second map, but throughout the tournament, it's very admirable what they're able to do. And you can see how good of a team they are. The fact that they can make this work with different fifths throughout this year, but that has to stop at some point.
And I mean, Tommy, the point you made before was that if FaZe were going to win this, it wasn't going to be on their CT side. It would have been a spectacular T performance from FaZe. Did you get any of that? Did you get an essence of that?
Well, I mean, listen, they got the pistol round. They had a pretty good chance of winning the 2v2, which is the round that Jason's going to talk us through in a little bit, so I won't go too much into it now. But had they gotten that 5-0 start, you know, I think we could have at least had a game there. But as soon as Astralis got the guns up and running, they got devised the op. It was just downhill from there.
Well, you talk about that 2v2. Why don't we run through that now while it is relevant? So, Jason, what's this? This is the second round of the second half.
No, this is the fourth round of the second half when they kind of sustained after winning the pistol. And the problem is it's hard to kind of always judge this as a misplay because you can find that in every single clutch. But you're going to see Guardian go up towards these halls. Kerrigan's inside the bomb site. They have a smoke and a Molotov still, but Guardian decides to like really deeply clear out the flank. And the problem with this is, even though he's at low HP, Kerrigan is all alone. He has to worry about lane. He has to worry about small pit. They're boosting over. There's an element of danger there. The Molotov comes in. It's missed time. They should have been able to re-smoke that with the second smoke they have. And Guardian needs to stick to the halls and just take the risk. You can't clear out the flank that much and leave Kerrigan just isolated, because essentially that was 2 different 2-on-1s for Astralis. You really leave your teammate hanging, and it's that scene from Top Gun. It's like you got to be his wingman. You got to do something.
But it's also it's what you look for when you're retaking a site is try and find 1v1s, and they almost gift wrapped for them.
And the cool thing was that round was pretty aggressive and fast paced out of FaZe. They got into the attack mode really early on because they knew they had the advantage of utility, at least in that one round. And even losing that 2-on-2 with 2 players surviving, you have them in that reset position still for the next round. And unfortunately, that was the round that pretty much dictated, is Astralis going to run away with this, or are we going to have a little bit of a back and forth down the stretch of this match? And Astralis just destroyed him with 4 players surviving, so all of a sudden you don't have him in that economic, backs against the wall type situation.
And I do have a fun one for you. These head-to-heads, they've been fun for a multitude of different reasons, but here we're about to put 2 in-game leaders, 2 Astralis in-game leaders head-to-head.
Boy, are the numbers rough.
Yes, Kerrigan, ex-Danish leader for this very roster.
I feel bad.
And then, of course, Glaive on the other side of things, the current in-game leader. Look at that. Wow, he really did
0.4 kills per death.
Okay.
You're not going to be winning matches that way.
That was a tough game.
I think, obviously that's a tough one to overcome with this much of a disparity, but I think as well this FaZe team, with the way that it's built, Kerrigan doesn't have to have a lot of kills. He obviously needs to do a better performance from this, and especially in an event where they have a stand-in, you need more out of him. But, when you have Guardian, Nico, Rain, and Olaf, for instance, or the way Exist was playing towards the end of his tenure, you don't need Kerrigan to have a whole lot of production. You just need him to have, his odd 1-on-1 clutch or 1-on-2 clutch, his 1 impact kill, his entry into a round or something like that. He's not in a team where he needs to be a fragger. It's just in this kind of a situation against the best team in the world who have 5 players and the best fragging in-game leader in the game, then you do need a little bit more out of Kerrigan.
Absolutely, and I need a little more Counter-Strike, please. I'd like to request that. If we can actually bring up your grand final. The brackets are locked in. We know how the grand final is going to look. It will be Astralis versus Team Liquid, and I think not only Glaive and his family and friends, but also everyone here in Wembley is excited for this one. I can't think of a better scenario, actually, a better outcome for a grand final where we could actually see a bit of resistance put up here versus Astralis.
I have a weird feeling that Team Liquid might just do it.
Okay, Jason.
And I know it's not that surprising
Let's
coming
double
out of
down.
me. But I have this weird feeling. I woke
What's
up this
happened
morning
here?
and I was just like, and they're gonna hate me for this because they hate it when I give them props.
Yeah. It wasn't that long ago. I think you
the
ripped
Star
your
Ladder
shirt open.
Yeah,
with
that
a
was
Liquid jersey.
that was good. Yeah, that was nice.
Listen, Jason, we had a bet for an earlier game. You want to double down on this?
No, I'm happy. With where I'm
You're
at.
in front of everybody here, so
I'm
you know
very
if
happy.
you don't want to do it, then that's fine.
I'm very happy with where I'm at.
We'll continue this conversation later. I'll be talking to Jason about his expectations for Liquid, but we do have the American Eagle believing in Team Liquid. We're going to be doing the pre-match for that and all that good stuff. But first, I do want to go ahead and get everyone a little bit of a break. Go get your snacks, go get your drinks, whatever they may be, so you are fully equipped to jump into this grand final. Do hit us up on social media. I just did a hashtag with my fingers. This is the person I've become. Hashtag.
Are you disappointed in that?
ECS5.
I think the rest of us are a bit disappointed in what you're doing
I
right
feel like
now.
Alex is not disappointed though.
Just feels
disgusting.
dirty, doesn't it?
Yeah, and drops as well. You know, you can go ahead and make sure you get those Face It point drops. There's some big ones coming up. I think it's the 15 mil they're giving away. But you just have to click that orange button, get loot on gaming.youtube.com when you're watching this stream. You can get yourself a Dragon Lord, get yourself a car, whatever it may be. Those Face It points go a long way. With all of that said, though, to entertain you during our break and letting Astralis catch their breath and get their vetoes sorted, we do have a little gift for you. Hanging out on the stage is Nathan. We'll throw it over there.
Thank you, Alex. Hello, everybody. I'm Nathan Fusco with Double Tap, and I'm joined by Jordan Nothing Gilbert.
Hello.
And Jake Boaster. How you guys doing today?
Good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You can hear me. I don't know. Oh,
There you go. They can
Test
hear you
1,
now.
2. What is this? Woo! I'm about to give them the microphone business. How's everybody doing today?
Good. Share it a bit. Let him.
This is Jake.
Yo, Wagwan? Wagwan.
Yeah, okay. Back here. All right, we're going to play a game of trivia today, all right? So we're going to classic U.S. versus England battle, all right? So I decided, let's let the audience decide who's going to go first. Does that seem fair?
Yeah, sure. Who's going first,
All right,
guys?
so who wants Nothing to go first? All right. Who wants the hometown boaster go first? I think Jordan won. No, okay, Boaster, you're going to go first.
There you go.
I got this. I got
Okay,
this.
all right. So this is going to be U.S. trivia, okay? So I've heard that your guys' education system is pretty strong, much better than ours. So
I
you
got
better
this.
be ready.
I got this.
All right, sir. First one up. Which president of the United States invented the swivel chair? Yes, we went there. No, you can't ask for audience. This is not a millionaire game, all right? Right
Swivel
here.
chair. Swivel chair.
Swivel chair. Now, how many presidents do you know? The one?
I know about 5.
All right, well, you get one chance.
But I don't think any of them invented the swivel chair.
Well,
Swivel chair. It's quite present, isn't it? Let's go for.
No.
Nah, it wouldn't be Trump, man.
Yeah, it's Trump.
All right, let's go for Donald Trump, ladies and gentlemen.
No, that was incorrect.
I knew it.
Okay.
I tried.
Second question, sir.
Oh, we got another one.
You going to Donald Trump was embarrassing. All right, which state in America consumes the most alcohol per capita?
None of them, because the UK are the best drinkers. Let's go, baby. No, which state? I'm gonna go for
Yeah, okay, now.
Florida.
What do you think? Just gonna give me you can't sound them.
Yeah, you're good here. I'm gonna say something in the Midwest. Something really bored out there, drinking a lot. Yeah.
Utah, the Mormons in Utah?
Utah? I don't think they're
Utah.
drinking too
Utah.
much.
Let's see.
You tell me.
What was your answer again?
Florida.
Incorrect. New Hampshire.
New Hampshire?
It's bored up there. It's bored and cold. All right. So 2 questions wrong. You're doing good.
I'm trying the best I
Moving
can.
on. Number 3, sir. Moving on to number 3. True or false? There are more McDonald's than libraries in the United States of America.
Oh, true. We're going with true here. I gotta follow my boys.
That one is false, sir. That one is
Cougar.
false. We like books, people. We like books.
Where are you getting your facts from?
Our
The
friend-
library?
Do you see this? What's going on right now?
Just the one.
Respect right here.
listen,
You don't know
thank
about
you.
our country.
Thank you.
It's more Starbucks than library. That's what we got.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm just saying.
I'm failing.
That's, sir, that's 3 wrong, just so we have a count. 3 wrong.
Oh,
True
thank
or
you.
false? True or false? Chuck Norris does actually have a black belt.
Yeah, we're going with true. We're going with my boys back here. True.
Congratulations,
Oh,
you got your first
let's
answer
go,
right.
boys!
Hey! Look at you, England.
I'm taking you down, nothing, man. I'm taking you down, bro.
Okay, I need you to calm down. You have 1 point, sir. Let's calm down. All right,
I'm
number
taking it
5,
down.
last one. All right, who was the last team to win the Super Bowl?
I'm going. I don't watch the Super Bowl,
I know you
but
don't
I
watch
can
the
hear a little bird saying Eagles. The Eagles. Is that a thing?
You gotta say the name. What's the city?
Oh, yeah. The
city with
city
the-
of where the Eagles fly, baby. The city where the Eagles fly. I don't know.
All right, yes, you'll get it. Yes, the Philadelphia Eagles. You will give you a point.
Philadelphia.
We'll give you a point. So that's 2.
Nice.
All right, congratulations. 2 points. It's Jordan's turn. Hand over the mic.
Hey, nice try.
Everyone get a round of
Thank
applause,
you.
please.
Round of applause for Jake.
Round of applause. Thank
I
you.
only know Philadelphia because the cream cheese.
Jordan, are you ready?
How's it going, baby?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm not too worried. He only got 2 points. I feel like you can get 3 with a little bit of help from me. So
Let's go. A little bit of help from the crowd. Who's got their phones out? I need Google open. Thank you.
A or B? No, wrong game. Okay, number 1, sir. How many times has the Summer Olympics been held in England?
Twice. 2 times. 2 times.
Hold on. Hold on. Sometimes, Jordan, it's good to listen to the audience. Sometimes.
No. Okay, 3 times. 3
3
times.
times.
Final
Great job.
answer.
Well-
Final answer. 3 times.
Correct. Good job, Jordan. Woo!
I knew it all the time.
America, thank you. You go boo. You
Listen.
boo.
Semantics, small details. I do it all the time.
This is good job. Well done. Good job.
Thank you. You're welcome.
True or false?
Yeah.
In honor of the royal wedding, England enacts prima nocta for one night.
Well, I don't understand the question. What?
True or false? True or false?
True.
Let me finish. All right, true or false? In honor of the royal wedding, England enacts prima nocta for one night.
True.
It's false.
All right, what else?
No, it's false.
Listen.
Prima nocta.
I don't even know what that
I
means.
was giving you a Braveheart hint, and you...
Freedom. All right, sorry.
Jordan. That was baller. Number 3. Did England invent the umbrella?
No. False.
Correct. No. That was China.
China.
Good job. Yes, good job. No, you did good. You get 2 points.
Thanks, guys.
You already
Listen,
tied him.
I really appreciate the support out there. I have
thank you,
3
guys.
fans right here in the
Woo!
front.
Right there.
Appreciate it. There. One's in an Astralis jersey. You can take that off.
Get back here. Hey, get back here. Do what you're doing.
All right.
Number 4. True or false? Big Ben doesn't refer to the clock,
False.
but the bell up top.
Oh, you're double timing me right now. No, it's the whole thing. False. Right? It's everything, right? Okay.
Hold on. Wait a minute. I messed up. Big Ben doesn't
the
refer
tower.
to the tower, but refers to the bell.
I'm not happy.
True. Okay, true. I see the fact that you said it again is true. I'm a genius.
Correct.
I'm a
True.
historical genius.
3. We already won. We're already up. We got more questions to go.
I thought you guys had a good education system.
Get back here. Focus. Come here,
All right,
champ.
focus.
Come here, champ. All right. Last one. No, stop.
Wait.
Stop doing it.
Listen.
This one you have no chance. Jordan, focus.
Listen.
You have no chance right now, okay?
Listen.
Who won the last season of the English Premier League?
It starts with a man, right? There's a...
Let him try. We already won. No, get back here. I want you and me. Look in my eyes. Look in my eyes. My answers are in my
All
eyes.
right, hey, listen. So, my best friend's a Chelsea fan. Am I going to get bombed for that? So, he would be mad if I didn't know the answer, but I didn't watch, but I think it was Man City.
Yeah, you're correct. Wow.
Woo! What are you doing now?
Jordan, you won! Jordan won! Jordan! In your face! No, it's not. Come here. You get a new car.
Okay. I get a new car?
Ladies and
Is it
gentlemen.
a Fiat?
I said this on stream. It is legal by contract now. Jordan, you're going to get a brand new vehicle worth a single quid. A single pound? Quid. Right here for you.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Oh, wow!
Yeah, don't go spending that in one place there, buddy.
That's a roadster right there.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
This is
That's
honestly,
beautiful.
well, you know, I really appreciate this, and it's been a hard-fought battle. No
You did
thanks to
good.
the crowd. You guys didn't help me at all.
Thank you,
These
everyone
three, though,
involved.
right here.
Let's
these
hear
are my
one. Hey,
boys.
let's hear some round of applause for our contestants.
Thank you, guys.
Everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
Jordan did well.
It's obvious the education system in America.
It's pretty strong.
It's just dominating.
Yeah, so you guys should copy whenever you get a chance.
Hey, listen, Jake, it's been a pleasure playing against you, but America's obviously greater. Let me know if you want some tips. I'll be backstage in the green room.
Yeah.
See you later, man.
Don't mic drop it. Awesome. Thank you, everybody, so much. I'm Nathan Fusco. This is Jordan. This is Boaster. We're out.
When do I get given the Dragon Law?
I keep telling you, they're not dropping you a Dragon Law. They're going to drop you the 900,000 Face-It points. Face it, they're going to drop you 900,000 Face-It points, and you can buy a Dragon Law. They're not going to give it to you.
So I get given the item in my inventory.
You get given the
Face-It Mikey's going to trade it over to me, personally.
Not quite. They're going to give you the Face-It points so
sorry,
you can
one
buy
sec.
it.
Hello? Yeah, no, I'm still with her. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to get the Dragon Law. We'll sell it after that. Yeah, cool. All right, Mum. Love ya. Sorry.
They're not going to give you the Dragon Law, though. They're just going to give you the Face-It points so you can buy the Dragon Law.
In my hands, Kobe throw to me, grab it, Kenny S comes round the corner.
There's no use
He's
explaining it
dead.
to anybody.
He's out of there. I'm on A site. They're rushing me from short and long. I'm coming round the oil. You know I had to do. Yeah.
Let's talk about hubs. Oh, what's a hub, you ask?